G'day guys and welcome back to the WGL APAC. It's time for the final match of week number 2. It's EL Gaming, our, well, most favourite, I suppose, of the entire league. Favouring them, I suppose, to finish top. Up against Caren Tiger, who we think might have a bit of a good time here against EL Gaming. Maybe not enough to pick up a win, but potentially get a few more rounds than some of the other challengers that have stepped up to the plate that has been EL Gaming.
Yes, well that is what I'm hoping, Jordan. Of course, like you said, EL Gaming, they're our favourites. The best team in the competition, without a doubt. They've shaken it up a little bit this season as well, so I am super excited to watch them. I've also just had a coffee, so I'm back
feeling
into
pumped?
it.
I've had my break.
Pumped.
Had a good, long, nice 9-game break.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Sit down, do some observing.
Slacker.
And
Slacker
yeah, I'm
over here.
back. I'm back and ready for this one here. EL Gaming, I think for me, are going to have a very good win here, but it's not going to be so clean that they're going to be able to 5-0 Caren Tiger.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. It's would be very surprising to see a 5-0 coming out of EL Gaming here up against Caren Tiger. Look, they are pretty amazing, those EL guys, and you know, I think they're so amazing. Sometimes I just want to start a religion, just the Church of EL Gaming.
Church of EL Gaming. Church of Elong.
The Church of Elong.
Church of Elong, and Fox TS is like the head priest.
That sounds a little bit not safe for work. The Church of Elong.
It does a little. Well, let's put the Church of Elong and Alex behind us as we look into how things are going to go shaping up here between EL Gaming and Caren Tiger. I've predicted 5-2 in the favour of EL Gaming, along with you and along with Max. So we're all in agreement for this one. So I think we're all thinking EL Gaming is going to have a pretty good time here. So having a look at the team lineups for both of these two guys, it is going to be EL Gaming. Obviously, ladder position number 1, 100% win rate still on the attack, 89% win rate on the defense, looking very, very strong this season.
Very, very strong indeed. And of course, this season they brought in Principal Zhang Zhu. Hope I'm saying right, but Principal there, an ex-player of the former Reform Gaming, who played in the Grand Final 2015.
Yep.
So Principal has really come in strong for EL Gaming, and has been a good little addition for them.
I agree. I think he's had a pretty good impact on this EL Gaming roster. It feels to me like, well, they definitely haven't gone backwards, and they might just have gone forwards as well. Looking over at their opponents, it is, of course, Caren Tiger, who we've seen a few times throughout this season so far. They're sitting in number 3 on the ladder, and they're also having a pretty good time.
Yeah, absolutely. Caren Tiger definitely looking very, very good right there, as you can see those top damage dealers on Caren Tiger in that last few games that we've seen them. Akio V, he's been right up the top. You know, definitely one to look out for. Zenlon, a new sort of addition for them in their roster as well. So interesting to see that they've got a 62 and 63% win rate respectively on their attack and defense. And obviously a very balanced team coming into this season.
Yep.
Looking very, very strong.
Definitely looking like they've probably gotten a little bit stronger from last season, even where they were sort of sitting down between, you know, maybe 4th, 5th, 6th sort of area, but now they're definitely challenging for that top 2 position. At the moment, I think Horseman might just be pipping them to the post at that point, but you know, still a lot of games to go throughout this season, so lots of changes I think that we might see coming out from the standings, especially if B Gaming get onto a bit of a roll like we saw in the last round. Obviously, they didn't quite pick up the win over Horseman, but there was some good signs from them. Anyway, digressing a little bit about that one. Caren Tiger and Horseman here. First map is going to be Ruinberg. How are we feeling about that one, Alex?
Ruinberg, okay. It's going to be an interesting one to start us off here between CT and EL Gaming. I feel as though, you know, this is where we could see Caren Tiger pick up one, as you know, as EL kind of get into their groove a little bit. Ruinberg, of course, it's a very asymmetrical map. Both the attack and the defense played very differently. So my thinking here is that maybe Caren Tiger might be able to pick up maybe even the defense here on Ruinberg.
Yeah, I think maybe realistically we are going to see one round potentially coming from Caren Tiger here. Although now that I've seen the map picks coming out, I definitely am a little bit more worried about my 5-2 prediction here. I'm thinking, leaning at least a little bit more towards a 5-1. I think there's potential for a 1 round for Ruinberg, for Caren Tiger, but mine's a Prokhorovka. I feel like EL Gaming have got those locked up super, super tight, and I think both of those should be a 2-0.
Yeah, well, actually, that's a good point. You know, whether we will even get to Himmelsdorf after those ones. So very, very tricky to see if we do. hopefully we will see it go all the way to that next map, to that 4th map in the pool, if we're lucky. And Caren Tiger can hold in there for that long, but EL Gaming, they are a malevolent beast.
They are.
And not often keen to give any inch to their opponents.
Yeah, I really think that Ruinberg is the main chance for Caren Tiger here. They need to get one round. If they don't pick up a round here on Ruinberg, I almost think we're going to be seeing a 5-0. I mean, Mines last season for EL Gaming wasn't too strong, and at the moment it actually is seeming like a pretty strong map for Caren Tiger. But you're right, it does seem like EL Gaming have really come out in Season 2, and they've basically shaped Mines into one of their best maps alongside Prokhorovka.
Yep, exactly. That look, the kind of new EL, if we will, even though it's basically the same roster here for Season 2, they do play things a little bit more cautiously, but when it comes down to it on Mines, you know, if they want to, they can do a rush and they can go toe-to-toe with any of the teams in WGL APAC here. But guys, let us know what you think. We both think it's going to be a 5-2 here, but if you think a little bit different, if you've got a crazy prediction to make, let us know down below there with the hashtag WGL APAC, at WGL APAC on Twitter as well. We'll give you the retweets, all of that fun stuff, Jordan. So, yes, I know we've been doing a few little polls throughout tonight as well, of course, on live.wgleague.net, which is where you should be watching from if you're watching our English stream. Of course, we've got some great prizes as well for those of you that managed to complete our APAC Pro Tanker and APAC Esports Fan Quests.
Interesting names. Did you come up with those yourself, Alex?
How'd you guess?
Oh, because I probably work in the same office as you.
Yeah.
And I was there when you were thinking about them.
That'd be it.
Yeah, it would be. But EL Gaming, I think they've got their eyes on the prize at the moment here. They're not going to be wanting to let too many rounds slip against Caren Tiger. Obviously, they want to keep that sort of, I suppose, visage of impenetrableness or invulnerability, I suppose, up for as long as they can. And for now, they haven't really been challenged by any of the teams in Season 2 just yet. B Gaming was, of course, the main challenger in Season 1, but they fell very, very easily to EL Gaming earlier on in week number 1. Now it's Caren Tiger's time to step up to the plate here on Ruinberg, and we're going to find out which tanks they're going to be doing it in right now.
Okay, so here we have Caren Tiger picking some fairly standard tanks for Ruinberg. They've got the FV215B in the mix. They've got the IS4, a bit of kind of bulk, a bit of brawl. The AMX50Bs for lots of damage. That French Tier 10 auto loader really pump out the damage. The T10 as well as the Batchat AP. Going to be going with 2 Tier 9s. On the other side, EL Gaming. A little bit more of an EL focused lineup. I think they brought this last week to Ruinberg as well. They go the double IS7, the Grill, and the Batchat. So they've got lots of alpha, lots of burst damage with the Batchats, and a little bit of kind of survivability, I guess, with the IS7s as well.
Yep, this sort of a lineup from EL Gaming really screams the 2 flag to me. Every time you see a double IS7 on Ruinberg, basically you're going to be seeing that team heading towards that little pillbox where they like to put the IS7 and then maybe another one sitting on the cap itself. But for the moment, EL Gaming quite content just to watch down that middle alleyway. Black doing a little bit of scouting early forward. Hasn't spotted anyone out just yet.
You know, not quite. Interesting kind of setup Black has got there, as well as with his equipment. Hasn't actually gone the coated optics. Instead, going to be going with the binoculars and the vents, and also camo net. Doesn't
have a vertical stabilizer either. So really, this is not a battle RU251, I suppose. No. This is an RU251 that's either designed to get on that cap and sit there with that camo net, trying to stay unspotted, or find himself in a nice passive scout position and sit there and get some spots with those binocs.
Yep, exactly. And, well, Black, he knows how to play his Tier 8 light tanks, so you've got to give it to him. He's probably doing the right thing in the meantime. IS7 here, Hardliner is actually going to be going to the vents as well.
Interesting fact about Hardliner, he's actually the top damage dealer for EL Gaming at the moment throughout the first couple of weeks. So that's, you know, not something that I would have expected to see. I thought, you know, maybe Fox TS might be up there, Guan Ren.
Yeah.
But at the moment, it's Hardliner.
Oh, okay. Well, good on Hardliner for getting all the way up there. And it's looking like him and Nice are going to be pushing right up towards this 2 flag. You can see, there we go, 2.3 thousand damage for Mr. Hardliner there. 89 average damage blocked.
I think he's actually also the second most damage in the league and the second highest average damage per game in the league. Second to...
Oh, see you later, T10!
That's a nice start there for EL Gaming, and, well, they're going to be happy with that. But the moment Hardliner just being eclipsed by JT in terms of average damage per game. Not sure if that's going to change at the end of this week, though.
Yeah, I'm not convinced either, but look, right now we do see EL Gaming pushing up a little bit further forward. Now that they've cleared out Accio V in that T10, it's not a great start for Caren Tiger. And EL, with those IS-7s, they're going to be so hard to poke down in those pillboxes. Just hold down positions, but to be fair to Caren Tiger, they're getting some good damage on early. Towards Hardliner.
They are getting a bit of damage across, and actually they do have a HP advantage, but they've already lost the tank. So,
yeah,
you know, guns in the game, such an important thing, and especially this early on in the fight, you know, that's a lot of potential damage lost for the Caren Tiger here. Despite the fact that they're doing okay for now, I think EL Gaming starting to maybe have or pull ahead a little bit, I suppose.
Yeah, that's right. And, well, you can see Quiet there getting a few potentially long-range shots. Not too sure if he's just blind firing. It looks like it. Blind firing up there, he's not going to be hitting too much, I don't think.
No, he's not. Principal also having a look in towards the one flag, seeing if he can spot anyone out over there. Has yet not been able to do that. He himself hasn't been spotted either, so that's a little bit of information for EL Gaming itself. But Caren Tiger, they do have that player down in the K0 area, which is going to be, I think, a heavy tank. A little bit interesting to see that in that position, but they didn't have a tier 8 light tank that they could put in that position, so they had to go for option number 2.
Yeah, not too sure about that, but meantime, yeah, here we are, the kind of heavy-ish tank down
Can't
here.
even see what it is. I think maybe the IS-4.
Yeah, looks a little bit IS-4-ish, I think.
Oh,
113, sorry.
113.
Yep,
Yeah.
the deco. Deco going to be down there, but yeah, look, let's take a lay of the land. As EL Gaming, they've tried for those pokes of the IS-7. They've recognised that they're not really working, so they're going to shake it up a little bit here. Nice and Hardliner are actually, well, Hardliner's spotted now, and Nice not spotted just yet, even though, were they firing at a spotted Mara, or are they just blind firing that? I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. I think they might have spotted him out, to be honest. I don't see why they would fire in that direction, really, without having spotted him, but I don't know who would have spotted him. Maybe I'm just talking rubbish, which is not unusual.
Yeah, who knows? But right now, Mara in that IS-4. It's going to be getting the reload happening. And see EL Gaming Principal moving up a little bit. So EL, again, still just feels like they're probing Caren Tiger.
They've started to rotate across here, so potentially actually looking in towards that one flag. Principal has spotted out, or at least he's been spotted out, and thus he can figure out that there are a couple of tanks in that, or at least one tank in that direction for Caren Tiger. EL Gaming still continuing with this rotation. Fox TS heading in towards the middle of the map. Whether or not they will continue on towards the one flag is my question. If they keep these IS-7s over towards the two flag, cause enough of a ruckus, I suppose, that could be something that fakes Caren Tiger out. And at the moment, Caren Tiger don't really know what's going on for EL Gaming. EL Gaming making this rotate work completely unspotted.
Yeah, there we go. So EL Gaming, very, very sneaky little rotate there from them. They've done it pretty well so far.
And Principal now, he's actually spotted, and he's backing out. So I think what EL Gaming are doing here, they might be trying to fake out that they're making their way over towards the two flag. EL Gaming with Principal now going to be unspotted, making his way over towards the rest of his teammates. They're going to just charge right in through that one flag, I think up towards the A line, try and take down Murrow and Zenlon and see what happens from there. But they've only got 3.5 minutes left or so once Principal starts getting involved with those teammates. Need to get a bit of a wriggle on, does EL Gaming, but is Caren Tiger going to be suspecting this, or is that little fake out from EL Gaming going to work?
Well, look, EL Gaming, I think that fake out may very well have worked here. And Caren Tiger, even if they are expecting it, the issue is they've got a 113 all the way down at K0, so it's going to take him a lot of time to rotate. In the meantime, EL Gaming, they're pushing onto the flag. They have got just about all of their tanks within range to fire at Caren Tiger right now.
Yep, they're not interested in the flag at all. They want to take these kills, and the IS-4 of Maro taking the first hit, but I think they're going to focus in maybe on that Bat Chat AP. No, it is going to be Maro and the IS-4, the focus of fire, and it will be an easy clean-up kill there for those EL Gaming Bat Chats, as Maro does get dropped. Now they just need to clean up Zenlon, and the job will be pretty much done. They've spent the majority of the shots in their clip. but they have got out of it what they needed to.
Yeah, there we go. So great little ambush there by EL Gaming, and it just shows how much of a factor stealth was in that one. There was no way for Caren Tiger to have enough forces back there near the one flag to defend out that IS-4 Marrow there. And the Batchat AP and now Hellkari's in a lot of trouble.
Well, everyone on EL Gaming really is in a lot of trouble because they've got 15 seconds to reset this cap. They've got a 3-player disadvantage, and they've got a now 3,000 HP disadvantage as well. Things not going too nicely for Caren Tiger on the defensive side here of Ruinberg, which was the side we kind of hoped they might be able to pull off a win on. Not to be, as EL Gaming caps it out and put themselves at a 1-round advantage.
Yes, very, very solid, clean, clear-cut, just tight play there from EL Gaming, I think. And you know, they did maybe struggle a little bit early on trying to find the position correctly with those pillboxes. They put the I-7s in there. They didn't work out too well. Yep. Then they said, okay, well, you know, we saw the 113 down at that K0 line. Let's try for a sneaky push up to the one flag, and just very, very well executed by EL Gaming.
Yeah, it was really well played. It just seemed like Caren Tiger didn't really know what was going on there, and well, EL Gaming really outplayed them. Got those 2 early picks, or well, they got 1 early pick initially on Accio V in the T10, and then the 2 subsequent picks onto the IS-4 and I think the Vatchat AP on the northern side of the map. That was pretty much the nail in the coffin, really, there for Caren Tiger. Once that had all come to pass, there was no coming back for Caren Tiger.
Yep, exactly. Simple as that, unfortunately, for Caren Tiger. So, look, they've started that one off. I mean, not shaky, I don't want to say, but EL Gaming definitely looking on point on the usual form after that start there on Ruinberg. I think Caren Tiger maybe on the attack here. Maybe they'll be the ones, if they want to go for something decisive, to you know, make the plays here.
Yeah, we'll have to find out when we get there. But before that, let's have a look at the post-battle stats. Fox TS in the grill 15, leading the scoreboards there for EL, who all actually put in a pretty good word for themselves, getting some points on the board.
Oh, that like, we don't see that very often when it's 1 to 7 and 6 out of 7 of those tanks are all one team. And whenever we see EL, it's like, that's just like normal for them this season in particular. Yupa there on the FE215B definitely deserves a good shout out. He kind of was a thorn in the side to EL, got some good damage out. At the end of the day, just was not enough, particularly when the rest of his team was sitting in number 8th to 14th spot.
The only EL Gaming player to miss out there was Black in the RU251, who got a couple of shots off, but didn't manage to do too much more than that. Real problems for the Caren Tiger, though. Both the AMX 50Bs only getting 1 shot across. Both the IS-4 and the T10 only 1 shot. And the 113, not even a single shot worth of damage. So overall, really just not any damage done by Caren Tiger. Just pushing their way in and taking what they wanted.
I actually really didn't like that 113 sitting down there at K0. I don't really think it'd ever work against a team like EL Gaming when, you know, maybe against another kind of weaker team that would just force a push into that line anyway. You know, it would be great to kind of hold it for a little bit longer, get Hull down there and, you know, use that strong turret of the 113 to kind of essentially have survivability in that K0 area. But for EL, it's very simple for them. They spot out the 113. They're like, okay, that's what he's doing. Let's not play into their hands. Let's just rotate all the way back to towards the one flag. So overall, I think maybe that one not going to be working for Caren Tiger, but I think
clearly
they still got some good shots across. They did win some early pokes against the IS-7s, which
and then subsequently lost it.
And then subsequently lost it. But I think that they haven't started off too rocky. I think that's just a matter of strategy going wrong and EL playing it perfectly.
Yeah, well, it's going to have to be a bit of a better performance there from Caren Tiger over on the second part of Ruinberg, the second half of Ruinberg, because they really didn't look like they were in that one at all on the first half. So let's have a look and see how they're going to go here in the second half. EL moving over to the defense. We've seen some interesting strategies actually from EL Gaming on the defense. We've seen 3 TVPs, which is quite unusual. Sometimes I think a double grill last season on the defense of Ruinberg. So they might throw a bit of a curveball in here, but you know, it always seems to work out for them when they go for something a little bit strange.
Little bit strange, absolutely. But here, of course, it is time for us to think about what might be happening in the next half of this map here on Rurenberg. You know, Caren Tiger, they have been known to pick a few Mouses occasionally.
Yep.
Do you think we might be seeing that one coming out next?
I think it's definitely a potential option, really, for Caren Tiger. It probably seems like their strongest attacking side on Rurenberg this season, and you know, they weren't that impressive on it last season. So I'd say there's a reasonable chance we will see these Mouses coming out. Maybe it's just going to allow them to get into a bit of a better position earlier on so that they can take that fight to EL Gaming. I think if they just choose Bat Chats and lightly armored tanks, then perhaps EL Gaming is just going to tear them apart before they even get into a position to take the fight.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'd agree with that. It is always very risky kind of trying to beat EL at their own game with those lighter medium tanks and the like. So I think Caren Tiger, they should pick what they're comfortable with. Mouses maybe. Probably going to be seeing maybe a Kranwagen or two, but let's have a look at what we will be seeing.
Oh, a big fan of those Kranwagens, aren't you? I'm not so sure we'll see it here on Rurenberg, but it is going to be the double mouse strategy, along with the T110E3 here for Caren Tiger.
Yeah, okay.
The Upa Special.
The Upa Special. That's quite interesting, actually. So Upa's going to be in the T110E3. They're going to be using the two Mouses, but I wonder if Caren Tiger here are going to be changing it up a bit. I wonder if they're not going to try and force a two flag. I wonder if maybe they will, you know, shake it up with and put the Mouses towards the one flag, just because they'll know that EL expect them to go towards a two flag.
Potentially, but the T110E3, I mean, I guess you can fire it down the alleyways in the one flag area, but to me, it is much more powerful in that middle alleyway. So I wonder what we're going to see coming out here from Caren Tiger initially. Looks like Polly's going to be sent to scout forward towards that two flag, but you may be right here. Nadeko and Maro, those two guys in the mouse, are, well, towards the northern end of the map. Obviously, they haven't moved very far, but they're hugging that wall, so we'll see if they do opt to actually head in towards the direction of the one flag.
Yeah. We go. So right now, I'm going to be seeing those Mouses kind of staying stationary, I think, from the mini-map. Black is going to be sitting down here in this T49. He has actually got that coded optics as well as the
vertical stabilizers, gunline drive.
Stabilizers, GLD on the T49. Of course, a very hard tank to actually aim in. Takes so long with that big cannon. Right now, EL Gaming just setting up, I wouldn't really call it a standard defensive setup because you don't always have that quiet or have that tank up in that A3 area.
No, you don't. Typically, I guess that would be the position to break something like a shield wall on that one flag, but obviously not something that Caren Tiger is going to be going for in this case.
Yeah, but speaking of this case, it's looking like Caren Tiger might be heading up and trying to push down towards that two flag. They've got 3 Bat Chats heading all the way down there. I think they're going to be spotted out fairly soon by that EL Gaming T49 Black, if they keep on moving that way.
A little bit further away for the moment, sitting behind some buildings, but you're right, as soon as they start moving in that direction, Black is going to get some pretty easy spots off. Caren Tiger, it's going to take them a while for those Mouses to get in position, and already seen a couple of minutes go by.
We have, and so far no damage dealt on either side, and really with the Mouses you don't get a second chance often to push them onto a cap. Oh, there we go, Guan Ren.
It's a good shot from Upa, getting himself a nice bit of damage across early on in the piece. Hardliner, not sure what he's doing with his turret, pretending he's an artillery, or with his gun rather.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what he's doing with that either. They said some secret EL strat that they...
He's praying to the Church of Elong.
Yep. Obviously. Do you give the Church of Elong sacrifices of AP shells?
And they respond in kind with glorious World of Tanks victories.
Yeah.
Except when you go overseas and lose to European and North American teams, lol.
Yeah. Rip. Get wrecked. But right now, in the time that we've been waffling on, these Mouses have moved about 50 metres, so...
They're getting there, they're getting there.
They're getting there, no.
It's taken them about a minute to make their way from Sort of like G2 down to H5.
Yeah, they're faster than the TOG. That's all that matters. So they're going to be heading up towards that 2 flag, and it is looking like a pretty standard 2 flag push. The thing that and look at that. That TVP isn't going to do anything to the Mousers. The TVP very, very low penetration on that gun, and so the Mousers can move up there. Fox DS is essentially completely useless, particularly because he's all the way at A7. That TVP is also going to lose penetration power over distance. So taking an already weak gun, adding that extra distance to it, and firing against a perfectly angled mouse, never going to work.
No, not too well there for EL Gaming, that's for sure. But does mean at least that the Mousers have been spotted out here by EL. Obviously the T49 not going to be in a really prime position to be able to do much damage to a mouse, but the TVP of Nice and 113 in principle are there. Troublesome times potentially for EL because they have 2 TVPs. Maybe we'll have some troubles getting through this double mouse strategy.
Yeah, well, I honestly think they will. Those 2 TVPs they've got, you know, the T49 that they've got isn't going to be a threat to them at all. It needs to fire at the bat chats or the WZ. And now the only concern I have for Caren Tiger is Upa, and whether Caren Tiger might kind of accidentally leave Upa alone, because if they do that, then Quiet's just going to push in from behind him. And
well, I think that's what Polly and Akio are here for. I think they're ready to back him up.
Okay, well, this is interesting. I actually quite like this from Caren Tiger. They're pushing up. They're not just sitting on the flag, not letting Elong come to them. They're going right to EL Gaming, taking the fight to the town.
This is not good for EL Gaming. Caren Tiger have got really way more tanks in that fight at the moment than what EL Gaming do. Principal is going to be lasting for, well, not much longer, to be honest. He's going to be able to take 1 shot more, and he does go down to Zenlon in the bat chat. We need to see Quiet and Guanren get something done here in the town, because up towards that 2 flag, things are not working out at all for EL Gaming. Hardliner gets spotted out. Nice is going to be backing out there as well. So overall, EL Gaming have lost 2 tanks and haven't even managed to respond at all to Caren Tiger, who have just done a big chunk of damage over to Quiet as well.
Yeah, absolutely. There we can see now Elong moving up towards Caren Tiger's Upa there. Nice, doing a little bit of a circling move on towards him, but EL, they still have a little bit of HP left, but just like that, Nice gets chunked down by Helkerai.
This is a very uncharacteristic looking EL Gaming. They're looking really, really all over the place at the moment. It doesn't seem like they have any idea what they need to do to counter this strategy from Caren Tiger. I mean, they're getting some damage back across, but they're not getting the kills. Upa and Akio V, very low on HP, but still alive, and they're really struggling to get through these massive health pools on the Mousers.
Yeah, this is going to be insane if EL lose this without having taken down a single member of Caren Tiger. I don't think I'm struggling to think if we've ever seen that before from EL Gaming over the entirety of 2 seasons. And just like that, Hardliner, he's going down very fast. He's in that 113. Don't think he's going to be able to do it.
Well, there you go. Caren Tiger equalizing it to 1 apiece there on Ruenberg, which is sort of, I guess, a little bit expected. You know, I said I thought it was going to be a 1-1 after Ruenberg, and it was, but I didn't expect that Caren Tiger was going to be able to pull it off in that fashion.
Yeah, again, we call that a perfect game when the team loses absolutely no tanks to secure a battle victory like that. So Caren Tiger really taking it to EL Gaming, and yeah, I think EL, they're just that was a scenario where they've obviously picked their kind of favourite lineup, or the lineup that they've seen works the best in Ruenberg before, not really reading into Caren Tiger and not respecting them as a team, because EL, if they just looked at some of Caren Tiger's previous VODs and like played against them rather than just playing World of Tanks, then they wouldn't have picked the 2 TVPs, because they would have known that Caren Tiger on the attack on Ruenberg, they like to pick the Mousers, and potentially could have done something like that.
I think it goes a little bit beyond the tank picks there as well, though, for EL Gaming. I mean, they could have been able to win that one, but the problem was they just took so long on the rotations for such a long time. I mean, the Mousers got all the way up to that town on the 2 flag before EL Gaming even really started to rotate, and by the time the fight had started in the city, the fight had already been lost by EL Gaming up towards that 2 flag. So I think the rotation's just a little bit slow. Maybe they've read things just a little bit too slow there, EL Gaming, and that's definitely not something they're going to allow to happen throughout the rest of this series. But before we get too far into the rest of the series, have a look at the replays for that one here. Well, the post-battle stats even, it's going to be Hardliner up the top there for EL Gaming, but really, across the board, it is all the way of Caren Tiger.
Yep. reading totally Caren Tiger. Completely different battle results from last one, where we saw 6 EL players all the way up the top. Caren Tiger definitely looking very strong in this one, and nice in that TVP with 1600 damage. Well, would have liked to do a lot more than that. He had a lot more kind of on-field time, I guess, but just was not able to make it count against those Mousers. And, you know, like you said, Jordan, bit of a slow rotate there from EL Gaming, but at the end of the day, when they're expecting a TVP to at least slow down the Mousers on the cross, and the TVPs just did nothing, then you're in trouble. And again, the T49 doing not much.
Yeah, it wasn't a great
doing
pick, was it?
much. Fox TS doing nothing. Like 12 shots fired in a TVP, and Fox TS did 650 damage.
He spent 2 of those shots.
Yeah.
It's uncharacteristic for Fox TS to have a poor game like that. Same for Guan Ren, only getting 1 shot worth of damage. And
yeah,
like I can't really fault Black there. He kind of didn't have much of a chance to do anything. It's a T49, and the only shot that he got was against a mouse. So he's not going to be able to do too much in that sort of a situation. But I'm not too bothered by that, really, for EL Gaming. I think it's fair enough to drop 1 on Ruinberg. It's always, you know, a bit of a 1-1 kind of a map. Moving on to the next map in the pool, Mines. It is EL Gaming's pick. EL Gaming have looked really sharp on it this season so far, and I think that one should be a 2-0.
Yeah. 2-0, well, I think so as well. But with the way that Caren Tiger just won that one, that was a super convincing win. And, you know, maybe on Mines, Caren Tiger could potentially bring up those Mousers again.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, Caren Tiger so far haven't had too much success on Mines. They did go down to Horseman, I think, earlier on in the season on it. But I think they looked okay on Mines, to be honest, when they did go down.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Caren Tiger not looking that bad, in my opinion, when they have gone down, but it will depend on those tank picks again, I feel, because like Caren Tiger, if they can, you know, if they can counter EL's standard strategies, I think this season we are seeing EL kind of not really adapt at all to the opponents they're playing, and EL just always seem to pick the exact same sort of stock standard, you know, like top tier, just their best lineup for that map without taking into consideration the opposing team. So, look, if Caren Tiger can, you know, work around that like they've just done there in Ruinberg, if they can maybe get some Mousers on the defense on Mines, maybe even on the attack, we could see a 4005, a 183. I would love to see that.
Yeah.
Whether we will or not, bit of a stretch, but who knows?
I should point out that Caren Tiger did actually beat Horseman on Mines. They didn't lose to Horseman on Mines. So maybe a little bit better than I had envisaged it for them. But they did, when they played Mines against Horseman, I felt that they were a little bit more aggressive and a little bit more decisive on that one.
Yeah.
So it felt like a bit of a different kind of Caren Tiger lineup. So I think there's potential here for them. But if they go for that aggressive push, that early sort of a fight against EL Gaming, it sort of feels like fighting EL Gaming at their own game, and I'm not sure that's going to work out like that. So I'd like to see, if, like you said, maybe a mouse on the defensive Minds here for B Gaming. They seem to be feeling the mouse, and it works for them quite well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that mouse really has started to pick up a little bit of steam this season. Last season, you know, the first time we saw it, it wasn't for a while.
It was late. It was in phase 2, I think, wasn't it? Yeah, or at least towards the second half of the season. The E100 was favoured a lot more. Yeah,
100%. But now we are seeing these teams really using it quite well. Of course, that now as well that the TVP has kind of faded off a little bit, we are seeing some more of these kind of tier 9 lineups with the double batch at APs. The mouse is often not a bad way to kind of counter that in some ways, in the respect that it can, you know, ding quite a few of those shells. It is very hard to get down. It counters lots of these auto loaders that we're seeing in the way that it does have 3000 HP, so there's no way that a single auto loader can take it out. Even 2 will struggle because of its just sheer HP pool and armor. Especially when you consider you might ding 1 or 2 shells out of those auto loaders as well. So yeah, it's not a bad pick by the looks of things. I mean, I think it's really shaping up to be one of the stronger picks in terms of win percentage by the tank throughout this season. Definitely seems to be getting up there, at least from what I can tell. Yeah, 100%. I mean, so far it's got about a 55% win rate, but I'd definitely be expecting that to increase after today and even yesterday, I think, as well. That statistic was coming into this week, of course, but lots of interesting tanks starting to pop up this season. Last game we saw the Object 432s. We've seen Object 430 earlier today. Of course, the Kranwagens, the S tanks, the Oods coming into it. We've seen that fantastic Oods play earlier on Ghost Town. So here on Mines, do you think maybe we might be seeing something like an Oods could be going up to the boost?
Probably not from EL Gaming or Caren Tiger. I don't think that they've picked it up so far. We'll probably see a Kranwagen or two from EL Gaming, sorry.
Yep.
Because they do seem to like that tank quite a lot. They seem to play it very well. Typically, Principal is being the one put into that tank, but I don't think it's, or I think it'll be a little bit of a stretch to see a UDES or an STRB.
Yep. Okay, fair enough. I would agree with that one. But of course, Mines, it is the map where you want to take control of that central hill more often than not. Gain a lot of map control, a lot of vision from that. There's a few boosts that we do see these teams getting out to on the eastern side of the map. But let's see what they have picked up.
Oh, a Scorpion G from EL Gaming. They did play that last week.
Yeah, they did.
Was it on Mines,
Yeah,
though?
I actually think it was on Mines.
It was a Scorpion G and a grill, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
This time, no grill. They've got the Kranwagen, the E100 actually on the defense for EL Gaming. On the side of Caren Tiger, a TVP and a Skoda T50. That's a little interesting.
Okay. Yeah, I think that Scorpion G-Boat from EL Gaming, I really do like that. It offers so much damage potential for a Tier 8 tank destroyer, so much mobility.
Yeah, and it won't have any trouble going through any of the tanks that we've seen coming out here really from Caren Tiger, aside from maybe the turret of Emil, if it's firing at the front of the turret. But, oh, that's a little bit of a traffic jam there for Caren Tiger.
Look at this, EL doing the wraparound.
This is typical of EL. Hardliner and Guanren going to be wrapping around the back, and there's no one from Caren Tiger in towards the base or anywhere else to provide any sort of a crossfire. Hardliner just staying back a little bit, waiting for his reload. Quiet and Guanren a little bit too keen to get involved, and they smash into the back of Hardliner, but it's not going to be too big of a deal. This is really almost over before it started here for Caren Tiger because they've lost a tank straight off the bat. Now they've lost a couple more, and it's now 3 versus 5 in the favor of EL Gaming. All of a sudden, not even 1 minute gone from the battle, and we've already seen what? 6 tanks dropped.
Yeah, see you later. And EL Gaming, just like that, they managed to get away, and the only real way that Caren Tiger could have stayed in it is by punishing some of those EL autoloaders as they were running away to get the reloads happening, but not going to be the case. Now only 2 bat chats and the Emil up alive.
E100 as well, just trundling along there for EL Gaming. Scorpion G for Fox TS gets a kill finally as well. I'm not sure how much damage he's going to be able to have gotten across, but it is quite a quick tank destroyer, so he might have been involved in that earlier fight. The E100 I don't think was involved in that one, of course, but really that's pretty much it for Caren Tiger. Hellcry down here on his lonesome in a 1v1 with Hardliner, which can really only go one way, I think, at this point. Maybe Hardliner goes down, but in the end, Hellcry is going to be taken out by all of those EL Gaming tanks. And, well, that's a very quick round. Not even 2 minutes gone, and EL Gaming picking up the victory.
Yes, very clean-cut win there from EL, and I think that was just a scenario where Caren Tiger, they were not expecting that wraparound, even though EL's done it before.
does it all the time.
They do it all the time, and yeah, I guess Caren Tiger, they've never experienced it in battle. I think after this, it's going to be harder for them, for EL to do it again, but really just not ready for it.
Yeah, look, I think when you're going up against EL Gaming on Mines, you do need to be ready for that. Maybe have a tank spotting that area, or a tank up in sort of that typical tank destroyer area, just to have a bit of a crossfire setup. Maybe throw the spanner in the works really for EL Gaming. But for that sort of a setup from Caren Tiger, there was no one even really watching that area for EL Gaming. They got around the back. They got, well, essentially a whole tank down for free, and then they proceeded to focus in on the next tank and the next tank and then blah, 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 onwards and onwards. So really for EL Gaming, it was pretty much a perfect situation.
Yep, absolutely. Very well played there by EL to cleanly take that one out. And I think Caren Tiger, again, their lineup was focused on winning the hill early on. I think they had lots of those bat chats. They were ready for a hill brawl, but they just weren't ready for that hill brawl to come from 2 sides at once and at the back of them. So a little bit disappointing for Caren Tiger, and good for EL, because that's going to be one of the fastest wins of this series, I am sure. Less than 2 minutes it took them to clean up all of Caren Tiger's tanks. But now it is time for Caren Tiger to focus a little bit more on the defense. I think this is the side where CT might be able to pick up.
Yeah, well, maybe. Before we get there, though, let's have a look at the replay of that one. I'm probably going to see pretty much the entire round here. Look at that, Maro. He was actually looking in the correct direction, but he just got obliterated straight off the bat. Great focus fire from EL Gaming. And then AkiOV gets focused down. Funnily enough, he's in the Skoda T50, so maybe not the perfect choice for EL Gaming, getting rid of the tier 9 as opposed to a tier 10. Well, but look, the job got done anyway, and well, Hardliner leading the charge there with almost 4k damage done. That's really why he's up the top of the damage charts overall for EL Gaming. He's getting so much crucial damage out as well. I'm pretty impressed by Fox TS in the Scorpion G, although in saying that, that's probably only 3 shots connected, which when you think about it is not that many, but given how quick that match was over, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, Hardliner up the top there, 10 shots fired. It's going to be 10 shots hit. Just very, very well played. And Principal in the Kranwagen, 3 shots fired, 3 shots hit. It is always the story with EL Gaming. They hit almost every shot that they take with the highest win rate out of, win rate, but accuracy percentage out of any team across the WGL APAC season so far by a long shot as well. But yeah, the ML2 not really working out too well for you, but they fired 4 shots, didn't get through, which is a little bit disappointing. And yeah, that TVP T50 tier 9 for AkiOV just got primaried first, and yeah, bit the dust.
It did indeed bite the dust there. So well, pretty quick round coming out from EL Gaming. Would like to see something similar like that on Cliff again, on Mine, here again, because I always like those fast games. They really are quite exciting to watch and see
absolutely.
who pulls out on top. Generally speaking, it is always EL Gaming as far as matches with EL Gaming are concerned.
Yes, generally speaking, that's a safe bet. So if you've bet on EL to win this one, then yeah, you're probably in good. You're probably safe. But look, Caren Tiger, I think that was. They just fell victim to the EL Gaming special there. I think on the defensive side, CT, they feel more comfortable to me. They know how to play the defense on mines a little bit better. They can revert back to some slightly slow attacks if they want. They can go the grill. They can pick a mouse on the defense, and it can work. And that's what I'm expecting from them this time, is really to lay a little bit more back and not push all the way up to the hill. Just let EL Gaming come to them, because that seems to be when EL have to slow down a bit. That Caren Tiger earlier on in Ruinberg really kind of took the fight to them and made it hard for them.
I definitely do think a bit of a slower playstyle favours Caren Tiger more than the faster playstyle, but I still think EL Gaming here, regardless of what Caren Tiger try to do on the defensive side of mines, should be able to close it out 2-0. I think EL Gaming probably just going to contest that hill quite quickly and try and take advantage of that and build upon that sort of a platform here in the second half of mines. Let's have a look at the tank picks, see if that's going to give us a better indication as to what's going to go on here. A couple of TVPs and a Kranwagen for EL. Caren Tiger going pretty standard as well.
Yeah, they've got the Grill 15 on the Caren Tiger side, as well as that TVP 50/51. The 2 tier 9 bat chats there for CT. So they've got a lot of upfront burst damage in those 5 auto loaders. The Grill to back them up, and the 113 just for a little bit of bulk at the front. And well, honestly, EL Gaming got something quite similar in their lineup as well. The focus here for Caren Tiger, it has to be on taking down those TVPs in a brawl. Those things just spew out damage, can unload their entire clip in less than 5 seconds.
Oh, it's actually going to be Caren Tiger by the looks of things, deciding to go for an early hill push. And well, what do you know? EL Gaming have themselves very nicely set up to get a bunch of free damage across, and they haven't taken a single shot in response. And that's just that, really. That's almost the game over for Caren Tiger.
Yeah, like that is honestly almost it. Caren Tiger, they have to do something miraculous to come back from this one, and something miraculous is not what taking free damage like Polly just did there, is not what I call miraculous.
Yeah, I think what Caren Tiger are trying to do here is take advantage that the reloads, those TVPs are going to be on, the Kranwagen is going to be on, but it just feels like they've left it maybe a little bit too late. Actually, the Kranwagen still has 1 shot left in the clip, and he does not want to reload at this point. 30 seconds on that reload is going to be more than enough time for Caren Tiger to punish him. Looks like EL Gaming's going to get out of here pretty safely. They're quite content with what they've managed to achieve, and Zenlon has taken a hit to the ammo rack. I think he might have used his repair kit earlier, or potentially still just saving that in case something else happens to him, but only 160 HP on him. So, Kranvagen Principals just spotted a tree going down, so they'll know that Maro is hanging around here.
Yeah, there we go. So Maru, they're not being too sneaky about it. And right now, well, we are going to be seeing that base cap started out by EL, so some more pressure to add on to Caren Tiger's ever-growing plate of concerns here on the second half of Mines. There's the Kranvagen and that TVP of Quiet get on towards that one. It's Caren Tiger, they're so spread out now. EL are in some great positions to hold this 2 flag, to hold the beach. I think in 38 seconds, we're going to need to see Caren Tiger come in before this.
Alrighty, Alex, let's see how the Caren Tiger guys are going to be trying to break this hold by jumping on board with their comms.
これこっちのさ、一番 A さんの方まで入るこれ。
もうそ
これ
時間
そろそろ
短い
上から切れない、上から減るくらいから。
俺は切るしか
バ
ないよ。
レバレ
ない
バレこっちかいるかも
じゃ。あ切るよ、切るよ。
切って切って切って切って切って。
きついこれ。
マロ君出れない。
マルコ、ここまで行くしかないよ。あ、い
あ、いやいやいやいやいやいやいや。
入れた。
マロ君一発撃った一発撃った。
切ってない切ってない。
ナイス。
Oh, well, just a bit of a clutch reset there. I think it might have been Hellcry who in the end did die to fall damage in getting that one. But really, look, EL Gaming have pulled this one off pretty quickly once again. Caren Tiger basically capitulating here on Mines.
Yeah, this has been like nowhere near as close as I thought it would have been on Mines here. EL Gaming just completely outclassing Caren Tiger. They were ready for CT to rush the hill like they did, and CT just played right into their hand. At this point, with a cap 30 seconds left, only 4 tanks left on Caren Tiger, 2 of them severely, mortally wounded almost, in Polly and Zenlon. There is just no way for CT to come back from this, and you've got to give it to EO. I thought we've seen them play so much over the last 2 seasons, Jordan, but you know, even that setup there, that crossfire setup where they had the 2 TVPs firing up at the hill while they were still completely safe, essentially. We've never seen that before, and that obviously CT never have either.
Well, clearly, otherwise they wouldn't have rushed into the hill like they did there, and it's another pretty easy win on Mines for EL Gaming, netting themselves 3 rounds on the board to the 1 of Caren Tiger. So now a bit of a dangerous situation for Caren Tiger as we're headed into what I consider to be EL's best map of Prokhorovka.
Yep, Prokhorovka. So that is going to be a big mountain to climb for Caren Tiger, particularly after they've got to be feeling very disappointed, you know, coming from that loss there on Mines at 2-0, which is, I mean, look, if you're watching out there and if you want to know how to play Mines, even in Clan Wars or any of the other formats, really, just those positions that EL Gaming were in there were absolutely impeccable.
Yep.
You know, like just in the completely perfect positions. And I think if you want to get better as a team here in WGL APAC, surely you would just watch that replay, watch where EL Gaming sit, and just do exactly what they did, because there was no real way for Caren Tiger to come back from that once they had, you know, half of their HP on like their TVPs and 2 of their bat chats just wiped off by the time they got onto the hill.
And the good thing about that strategy from EL Gaming as well is it's quite difficult to punish. I think, you know, there's not really any downsides for EL. I mean, if Caren Tiger don't decide to rush the hill, well, it doesn't matter for EL Gaming. They're not going to take any damage. They're not going to lose anything for it. So they might as well throw the dice and see if they can get that free 1,000, 2,000 points of damage early on in the piece that's going to really turn the tide in their favor.
I think so. So, well, now speaking of the tide is going to need to turn a long way. I think the moon's going to have to go all the way around the earth and back again to pull the tides back in Caren Tiger's favour, Jordan, because here on Prokhorovka, obviously one of EL's favourite maps this season and last season as well. They're very experienced on it. Caren Tiger, look, they don't look bad on Proc. They do like playing some of these more mobile lineups. They like getting some of the STBs in the mix as well, which we did see from them previously. So I think it might not be quite so clear-cut as Mines. I'm hoping it'll be a closer game than Mines. So
I think it'll be a bit slower than Mines. Obviously, Mines does, well, being quite a small enclosed map does lend itself to some very, very quick matches coming up. But Prokhorovka, I think, is a bit of a slower game, even for EL Gaming, who, you know, sometimes do just play out that long game on Prokhorovka, but I definitely don't think they're going to have any difficulties here. I'm predicting we close things out at a 5-1.
5-1. Okay, well, that's Not a bad bet, to be honest. I think a 5-1 is probably what I'm going to be rolling with as well. I did initially say 5-2, and yes, Caren Tiger could pull out a big win here on Prokhorovka if EL tries something or do something a little bit silly, but 5-1 is how it is shaping up. Let's hope, for the sake of the game, that Caren Tiger can really pull back, really kind of take it to EL here on Proc. You think there's any special tanks we might be seeing, maybe?
From EL Gaming or from Caren Tiger?
Well, I was about to say from Caren Tiger, but they're not the ones to pick an S tank.
No, they're not. Maybe a Kranwagen coming out from Caren Tiger, but again, I think that's going to be more of an EL Gaming thing.
Yeah, I think we're going to be seeing Kranwagens from EL Gaming here. They picked it to great success on Prokhorovka last week, really using that hold down Kranwagen. Great turret armor of that one to its advantage.
We've got a bit into our discussion of Prokhorovka, but it's time to cast our minds back a little bit there onto Mines. We'll have a look at the post-battle stats, and no surprises to see the TVPs up the top there. They were both in really great firing positions at the beginning of that game. They got so much free damage off, and then they were able to get a couple more shots off, or a few more shots towards the end of the battle as well.
Yep, absolutely. There, Guanren in that batch at 25T, 2.1 thousand damage as well, so nothing too surprising there. Principal up with the Kranwagen and 1.5 thousand, even nice in that IE251, dealt more than, well, 6 players on the Caren Tiger side. That was how much of a whitewash it really was. So, Zenlon there in the batch at AP 1411 damage, and we did see Black there in his bat chat. About 1,000, and look at that, Akio v Maro, 0 damage each on their bat chats, Jordan.
Yeah, one shot coming out as well from Polly only in the bat chat AP.
Ugh.
Not a pretty sight for Caren Tiger there, but it is what it is, really. And I mean, last time these two teams faced each other, it was 5-0 for EL Gaming. Time before that, it was 5-2 to EL Gaming, so I think that really paints the picture of the direction that we're headed here once again tonight.
Absolutely. So, score is 3-1. At the moment, and we have Prokhorovka, one of EL's top maps, coming up before us. It could be it. They could close it out in these next 2 games and seal the deal before Caren Tiger can get to a map that they favour slightly more. So
yeah, Himmelsdorf actually a pretty good map for Caren Tiger, really, especially throughout this season. But again, it's a pretty strong map for EL Gaming as well. So even if this one does go to a 1-1 on Prokhorovka, say best case scenario really for Caren Tiger, I still think Himmelsdorf is going to be a pretty easy closeout for EL Gaming anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. So right now, I think it's almost time to head into this first half of Prokhorovka here. Like we said, we're expecting the STBs, expecting maybe a few Kranwagens picked here from EL Gaming. I think maybe they've been even watching a little bit of the European or even NA Wargaming.net League season that's been kicking off at the same time as ours. Of course, all on the same Twitch channel, which is very handy and convenient for everyone. Make sure you give it a follow down below to be notified whenever we are going live for any WGL related action.
Yeah, it's a pretty big program, really. Like, we've got people in North America, people in Europe, obviously the Asia region here that we're doing, even over in Russia. So it's a very global operation, really, and there's lots of tanks going on really throughout the entire week. Most of the time, you can find some sort of tanks to watch, and if not, then there's always a rerun going on as well, which you can have a look back maybe at last season, see how that was going, which is at the moment going, well, relatively similar to how this season was. I mean, a lot of things going pretty similar, but B Gaming, I think the major change into Season 2 hasn't really worked out quite as well for them so far, but plenty of time still to go. We're only in week 2, and now looking like we're going to be headed into Prokhorovka relatively shortly, Alex. The tank picks are going to be all important for this one. It is going to be Caren Tiger starting off on the defensive side here, so EL Gaming for me going to have a pretty mobile lineup, I would think. TVPs and bat chats, no worries about that, and a double Kranwagen. It seems to be their fallback strategy here on Prokhorovka.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, we've been seeing EL Gaming really favour these double TVPs coming into this season. They've done it so often, and it's worked out for them on everything apart from, you know, that Ruinberg map where they encountered those double Mausers. So that super strong, high damage per minute tank in that TVP, super high damage threat, works out really well with their playstyle. And Caren Tiger here, IS7 and the Kranwagen, not a bad little bit of bulk in their lineup.
Yeah, well, let's see how EL Gaming is going to use this lineup here. On the attacking side, Black going for a pretty early spotting run by the looks of things in towards the middle of the map. apart from that, EO Gaming quite content just to spread out a little bit and have a look at what's going on. Black does get spotted. He hasn't spotted anyone out though.
He hasn't. We do see Black there just darting out. Not too sure how he didn't spot Accio V, but it might have been Polly that spotted him. I'm not too sure. As right now, Caren Tiger setting up for a fairly two-flag focus defense. The looks of things. Principal there in that Kranwagen. Spotted out as well.
I want to see though what's going on over on the other side of the map really here for EO Gaming, because you can see Black, and I think it's Hardliner as well, up on that hill there, getting a bit of an overlook to see what's going on. Caren Tiger haven't spotted them out yet, so this is potentially the power play really for EO Gaming. If those guys manage to sneak around, if maybe Caren Tiger rotate over to the one flag, Hardliner and Black can rotate in towards that 2 area of the map, then things might start to get a little difficult for Caren Tiger. But Black looks like he's going to go forward here with a bit of a scout. Nope, he's just decided to slow down. And meanwhile, in the middle of the map, EO Gaming doing what they do, poking in, poking up and down in that Kranwagen.
Yeah, so a much slower start here by EO Gaming in towards the map, and quiet in principle, just maybe looking for some pokes on towards Accio V or Polly, but Polly's not going to be spotted out anytime soon in that RU251. He's in a nice little spotting position in that bush. And I kind of like this 2-flag defense here from Caren Tiger. It means they can react to EL if EL push on towards a 1 flag. And if we remember, EL, they're not a team that likes to kind of win through slow cap pressure. They're a team that likes to win through battling, likes to win through brawls. So if Caren Tiger can force them into a kind of slow 1 flag defense by keeping them on this side of the rail tracks, then I think it can work out pretty well for them.
Potentially. Hardliner has backed off a little bit in towards the K8 quadrant of the map. Principal spotting out Accio V. He himself is spotted out, so he's forced to back out. A little bit difficult here for the Kranwagen sometimes to get some shots in towards some of those tanks, because it does involve him rotating his turret like that, and it involves, or it allows really easy shots to come across from sort of the eastern part of the map, or the northeastern part of the map, if there were any Caren Tiger members over there. So does need to be a little bit careful here, but for now he's quite safe.
Yep. He's not looking too bad at all there. He does get spotted out and has to retreat a little bit back. This is where, if you're Caren Tiger, you wouldn't mind maybe something like an artillery piece here to kind of punish Principal for just staying out in the open.
Oh. Yupa just gets spotted out. He did. Black, I think, spotting him out. Zenlon also getting spotted there. So that's some real information here for EL Gaming. They're going to realize Caren Tiger starting to rotate, and immediately you see the response. Fox TS starting to make his way forward. The Kranwagen starting to play a little bit more aggressively, and EL Gaming really need to make advantage of this, because Black is going to be in a bit of trouble relatively shortly, you would think. I don't know if he's actually spotted yet, but sooner or later he will be spotted out. And he's going to go down to those bat chats. Hardliner will be able to back him up. I think maybe Fox TS is going to have some shots in towards the hill there as well. Black does get spotted out now, and he's taking a couple of quick shots. We'll back down, but Zenlon, well, he's not even going to be needed. Maro gets the kill anyway. And it's up to EL Gaming now to really trade that damage back. They've done a decent job of taking some damage into Maro, but are they going to be able to finish him off?
It's looking like no is the answer to that one, as Maro is still just staying alive, 657 HP, but oh no, Accio V's in so much trouble now. Fox TS, look, he's pretty much got this free kill here. Helkerai in that Kranwagen might be able to punish it though.
This is going to be punished by Caren Tiger, and in the meanwhile, Hardline has also gone down at the south of the map, so Yupa and Zenlon doing a good job of picking him up, and EL Gaming still fighting for their lives at this point. Principal probably going to go down as well. Helkerai gets relatively low, but I think Caren Tiger might win that duel as well.
Yeah, this is looking really good for Caren Tiger right now. Principal just trying his best to use that turret armor to stay alive in that hold down position, but EL Gaming have lost so much damage. They've lost a TVP, they've lost a bad chat, even the tier 8 light scout tank, and see on the minimap there, Polly is booking it.
He's not going to be able to escape too easily from Nice here, who's got a bit of a bead on him. Looks like a couple of shots. Oh, that's a good shot, a good tracking shot from Nice, but probably not going to be enough to take the kill here. Polly needs to back up. Oh yeah, he's got nowhere to go. He's really got nowhere to go, and he will go down there. It is still a tank advantage here for Caren Tiger, but EL Gaming have a massive health pool advantage, over 1.5k.
Yeah, so EL, the HP on their side, and they do have 2 Kranwagens left up, and that's hard to break through, particularly when they're kind of close together in these hold down positions like Quiet and Principal are right now. Caren Tiger will definitely be punished if they pushed all of those low HP bat chats in towards them. So for now, of course, Caren Tiger don't actually need to do that because they are on the defense. It is up to EL to decide what they want to do next on the attack. Whether they want to push in towards that one flag, whether they want to regroup, maybe go over the rails, try for a fight there.
They do have 4 minutes to work with, so that's a decent amount of time. But once this sort of starts to hit 3 minutes or 2.5 minutes, that's when we'll have to see EL Gaming starting to do something. That's be a little bit worrisome if things go a little bit awry in their strategy, if they don't have any time to really work with. But Caren Tiger do have a nice sort of spotting setup here. They're going to be able to spot out the majority of those EL Gaming players across the map.
Yeah, very good spotting here by Caren Tiger. Very good discipline in kind of not pushing in towards EL Gaming. They've recognised that, you know, it's probably not a good idea to push in towards that hold down, well, the 2 hold down Kranwagens in the centre of the map there. So now EL, I think we can see nice moving. They are going to be making a move for it soon. Ideally, they'd like to do it when they're not spotted, because otherwise it's going to be a little bit blindingly obvious, but they do need to do it soon as well. Otherwise, you know, on Caren Tiger's side, they could just run away one bat chat until the end of the match if it gets to that point in time.
On the same token, though, Caren Tiger do need to be really careful here. Zenlon's a 1-shot, Hellcry, Maro, and Yupa all 2 shots. And Nadeko really the only one with any health to speak of. What is EL Gaming going for here? They've only got 2 minutes and 40 left on the clock. Really starting to run that timer short, and they're in no position, really, to get on that flag at the moment. So, I don't know, it just feels to me like EL Gaming have let this one slip a little bit too long.
Yeah, I think so as well. 2 minutes and 30 seconds. I mean, it looks like they're finally pulling the trigger now, but they're not going to be able to have any flag pressure anytime soon because they're pushing down right through the bottom of the map, right through their spawn.
Ren is the one being sent forward to go for that scouting run. He has spotted out Maro. Bounces a shot off one of the tanks up on the hill there. I think it might have been Yupa perhaps, I don't know. But yeah, he's not going to have an easy time of dealing with Maro here. He can't go over the tracks, otherwise he's going to be completely lit up by this defensive setup that Caren Tiger have got. And EL Gaming, yeah, with only a minute and 50 seconds left to work with. They have started to push forward, but again, Alex, I still feel like this is too little too late. I just don't think they're going to get the damage across that they need. And being on the attacking side, obviously that does mean they are going to fall. 30 left. Still, we have not seen any damage from EL Gaming.
Yeah, and look, EL aren't pulling the trigger. At the end of the day, you know, you've just got to make a call whether you're going to go over and instantly die or not. There we go. He did at least manage to take out one. In the meantime, EL have taken out another one on the center of the map, so it's currently a 3-on-3. 1 minute and 20 seconds left. Nadeko's still full HP.
I've really got to question whether that was the correct call from EL Gaming, to be honest. You know, it feels like it would have been a better idea just to get on the flag and get Caren Tiger to come to them.
Well, exactly. They've got 2 Kranwagens, so they can sit on the flag easier as well. You know, Caren Tiger, they didn't have anyone on that one flag, so you're right. Now, with a minute left, they've got to chase down 3 tanks with their own 3, 2 of them being heavy tanks. So, I'm not sure what Yupa's doing here, but I guess he's just hiding.
Yeah. Zenlon as well, spreading out as far away as possible up in that A0 area. I just don't think that EL Gaming have really played this one very well at all, to be honest, Alex.
This is a rare miss for EL Gaming. It should be a simple matter of Caren Tiger kind of hiding it out for the end here, or Nadeko just taking out Principal. Just like that, that'll work as well. So, yeah, EL can't be too happy with the way that they've ended out this one. A simple flag cap would have just done the trick, but that's what we said earlier. You know, EL, they hate going for the slow flag cap pressures. They never do that. And this time it's cost them, I honestly think it's cost them the game here.
Yeah, well, absolutely has cost them the game. They've been timed out. That's not something that you say very often about EL Gaming, and, you know, just really uncharacteristic there for EL Gaming. I wonder if there was some sort of other issue on the board there that we obviously weren't able to see, because it just didn't feel like EL Gaming at all.
No, you're right. It was super slow to start off with, and you know, Caren Tiger always felt like they had lots of control in that one. You know, yeah, EL got a few of their kind of like cheeky Kranwagen pokes, which are a little bit troll, but they don't really. You know, they didn't really offer too much in that one. Caren Tiger were never phased by their IS-7, and they got their IS-7 kind of out of that central area fairly quick smart once they realised that they didn't need it there, and that they didn't want to take those pokes up against the Kranwagens there with it. So, good bit of play there from Caren Tiger as well.
Yeah, and moving over to the defensive side now for EL Gaming, I was kind of thinking maybe in the second half we're going to see them go for some sort of aggressive strategy, and I guess it is still potential for them on the defensive side to do something like that, but probably would have preferred to see them starting off on the defensive side with a performance like that and moving over to the attack so they could dictate how the play of the game went. But yeah, they didn't dictate it very well in that first round. Let's go ahead and take a look back here at how those replays are going to show us what went wrong here for EL Gaming. One thing here, they didn't really have anyone to trade out Black. That's where part of the issue became.
Yeah.
And then Fox TS goes aggressive, kind of on his own. And, you know, it doesn't really work out for him. Yeah, he gets the kill, but a full HP TVP traded out for a pretty weakened IS-7, especially on a map like Prokhorovka, where a TVP can be super crucial.
Yeah, I didn't like that trade, actually, because, like, why not just send a Kranwagen over the top to do it? You know, it's got more likelihood of survival. You know, it does less damage than the TVP.
And I think you can afford to lose a Kranwagen more than you can afford to lose a TVP in the late stages of a match like that.
Yeah, 100%. So right there, we did see Quiet in his Kranwagen up the top at the end there, but that doesn't really matter. He had a good game, but ended up losing. So nice in that TVP as well, doing a bit of work. Fox TS not quite so much with the YOLO.
Yeah, not so great from him. Black didn't have really an opportunity to get a whole lot done there. Would have liked to see what would have happened maybe if Black had have gotten down the hill, but then there was Zenlon wrapping around the bottom as well, so I don't think Black would have survived all that much longer anyway. So EL Gaming, it just felt like a little bit messy from them, some incorrect decision making. So hopefully here on the defensive side, they're going to come out. I hope to see them go for something aggressive so that they can, you know, just get back into their mojo.
Yeah, get back into the EL Gaming style that we know and love. So hopefully for their sake, we do see them, you know, really pick it up a little bit here. But across the board, Caren Tiger looking very strong as well, and well, picking up the second one. It's shaping a little bit more like to our prediction as well with the 5-2 coming up. If EL can really get back onto the winning train here and stop giving away free matches like they just did.
That did seem like a bit of a free match there for Caren Tiger, to be honest. EL making some errors, it felt like there. And so, you know, look, it happens. Something must have just not been right there for EL Gaming. Maybe the calling wasn't quite on point, I don't know. But Caren Tiger have been allowed a bit of a sniff back into this series now, getting themselves 2 rounds on the board. You know, they're still behind. It's 3-2 in the favor of EL Gaming, but, well, 3-2 is much better than 4-1.
Yes, exactly. There's no doubt about it. So, well, if they can make it 3-2, and they can make it a little bit further than that, I do believe. And next up here, of course, moving on a little bit from Prokhorovka, I do believe we can start thinking about some tank picks, which we might be seeing as well in this next little half.
Yeah, the next half of Prokhorovka. Tank picks, well, I suspect we'll see at least one Kranwagen here on the defensive side for EL Gaming. That's probably a shoe-in. Lots of bat chats, probably a TVP, maybe even a grill from Fox TS, although I feel like a grill on the attack might be a better option really for them. So yeah, a few options, but I feel like it's going to be relatively standard here from EL Gaming. Kranwagens, bat chats, maybe a grill, an IU-251, maybe a TVP going in there as well. On the side of Caren Tiger, potentially, there's a few different strategies they could go for here. You know, maybe the IS-7, they get that in on towards the western flag. Otherwise, aside from that, an IS-7 is not a bad choice anyway.
I like the IS-7 here on Prokhorovka, particularly on the attack. I think on the defense as well, it's not too bad. But you know, getting on towards the flag for a bit of a slow flag cap pressure strategy on the attacking side can really work out well. So hopefully, for Caren Tiger's sake, I'd be keen to see them pick it. Apart from that, like you said, the Kranwagen's definitely going to be expecting those. Probably not seeing any S-TAC from either of these two teams. maybe for lucky a grill from EL Gaming. They have been known to pick it before. Don't think we're going to be seeing any artillery pieces from either side as well, but I think it's time to find out.
Let us indeed find out what the tank picks are coming up. And it is going to be a
look at that.
Mouse and M4043 and 3 Kranwagens from EL
Okay,
Gaming.
this is a little bit
So,
different. Yeah.
You didn't think there was going to be an arty, but you got lumped with 2, Alex.
Two
Yeah.
artillery pieces. There you go. Well, I actually really like the artillery piece from Caren Tiger. I think it's a smart pickup against those Kranwagens, which you pretty much always know EL Gaming are going to pick on Prokhorovka. Looking at the history of them, so that Lorraine should be able to punish those Kranwagens if they try and stay out in the open, doing their hold down kind of pokery for too long. So, yeah.
M4043, lots of bat chats for Caren Tiger. Should be interesting to see what happens there. I don't know. I'm not so sure about how that Lorraine's going to work out. To be honest, maybe it's going to have some difficulty really putting too much pressure on the likes of a Mouse and a Kranwagen. I feel it's going to get some damage, but it's not going to be a big amount of damage that's really going to pressure them.
But that's the thing. The pressure from the Lorraine comes from the fact that, whenever any of those EL Kranwagens do what they've been doing for every other game on Prokhorovka and pushing up to the very edge of the hill and trying to get one shot across, a Lorraine shot can come in. It can track the Kranwagen. As soon as that Kranwagen's tracked, even if it repairs one, that's one repair kit. Use the next tank that's aiming at it, gets the next shot on the tracks. Boom! Suddenly, because of that Lorraine, you've just led to a tracked Kranwagen right in the middle of the open, and it's a dead one. So EL do have to consider that when they're doing that Kranwagen strategy, particularly now that they've got 3 of them. I think maybe they'll feel a little bit more kind of invincible or less likely to be targeted in this situation. But they definitely have to keep on their toes.
Yeah, I think it's a difficult situation though for Caren Tiger. Initially they probably would have thought, okay, let's take the arty, let's play a bit of a slow game, see if we can get some damage across to that Kranwagen or those Kranwagens early on in the piece. But now that there's an artillery on the side of EL Gaming as well, there's always that ever-present threat that maybe one of those bat chats gets one shot, and then pretty much there goes your round.
Yeah, exactly. And if one of those bat chats gets one shot, then, well, Caren Tiger in a lot of trouble. That's what the M40 can do. And I think, unlike the Lorraine's going to be used a little bit more just for general pressure. The M40 is going to be used for shutting down some of those tanks. And look, it can absolutely be used against the IS-7 or the Kranwagen as well. It'll still deal damage. It'll still be a big threat.
What I'd really like to see is some counter arty coming out. I want to see the M4043 one-shotting the Lorraine or vice versa even. I think that would be the dream situation, but it just feels like it's maybe a little bit too niche of a strategy here.
It's
WGL.
just not worth it, really.
Yeah.
Like counter arty, you have to spend so much time looking
exactly,
looking, and I don't think either of these two guys sit in the exact same spot every time anyway.
No, certainly not.
So
would be fun to see though.
It would be fun. It would be fantastic to see. I love counter artying in pubs. Particularly it works well when you've got like 3 arty on the enemy team because generally speaking on any map they're always either going to be there or there.
Yeah.
And you can look, and even if you miss the first kind of round that they fire, you can catch the second salvo, and pretty happily zero in on them. But no, I don't think we're going to be seeing it this game, unfortunately. Jordan?
No, probably just a relatively standard thing coming out here for Prokhorovka. Well, I say standard, but we've got three Kranwagens. One thing we haven't really talked about too much is the mouse for EL Gaming. How are we thinking maybe that's going to work? I'm not so sure where that it's actually going to be seated.
The mouse, actually, that's a good question. I think probably somewhere on the rail, like generally on the rail line. I want to say maybe near that two flag in the
mid
town.
of the map,
yeah, just on the rail line, it gives it a little bit of an opportunity to kind of retreat without having to move too far. So I think that's not a bad position for it, unless EL want to do, I don't know, something like a kind of late. Maybe EL will all push towards the 2 flag early on the defense, and then just wait for Caren Tiger to get the slow 1 flag cap, then just come over the rail tracks and get them that way with all those hold down tanks and the mouse.
I'm really struggling to think how this mouse is going to work out for EL Gaming, to be honest. I mean, it is Prokhorovka. And pretty much the last tank you want to be in is a mouse or an E100 even. The mouse has okay gun depression. It's not the best gun depression in the game, but it's serviceable. So you know, it can work, I suppose, but I really just wonder if it's even going to be able to do all that much. Or to me, it feels like it's probably just going to be completely ignored here by Caren Tiger, and that's not really what you want to be happening when you're in a mouse.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think unless maybe they're just going to push it right up to the center of the map around one of those rocks in the center so that they can just kind of troll around with it there and their Kranwagens and just do like a massive pressure strategy from the center. That might work, I'm not too sure, but overall, EL, they don't have they don't have much mobility, so I'm definitely not expecting them to head towards that hill, not expecting them to head down that one line. I think it's going to be either focused around that 2 flag, around the back of the rail tracks, or around the center of the map.
Yeah, you're right. It's not going to be a particularly mobile lineup coming out here from Wargaming, so they probably are going to plonk themselves down in one of those positions and, well, hope for the best, really. Not so sure what we're going to see coming out from them on like when they have to try and reset, I suppose, because if they have trouble getting in that reset, then you've got a mouse that's really probably too slow to be getting into any position to reset in any sort of feasible time. And the Kranwagens, just doesn't feel like to me it's going to be necessarily a consistent resetter. You know, you can get 1 or 2 resets, but by that time, if you've peaked a few times incorrectly, your tank's going to be too low to go for a 3rd reset. I know they've got 3 of them, and I know there's a lot of mounds to poke over here on Prokhorovka with the gun depression of the Kranwagen, but I just feel like 3 Kranwagens is maybe just a little bit excessive, especially considering there's a mouse on the field there. So just the lack of mobility is my real concern about this roster or this lineup for Wargaming.
Yeah, well, I think Caren Tiger here, they're really going to have to use that hill to their best advantage, because that should be a free thing, just to go up to the hill and take the hill. So maybe if they can go to the hill, if they can get some spots down to the Kranwagens, to the mouse, which are probably going to be located in towards the center of the map, then they should be looking pretty good. Whether they will or not, I mean, who knows? Maybe Caren Tiger, they could also potentially use that one line as a bit of a strategy, head down the little gutter there. So I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, well, for me, this entire sort of matchup really is a case of how much damage Caren Tiger actually can do to Wargaming before EL eventually roll over Caren Tiger in the end. But at the moment, I mean, they've got 2 rounds here, and I think this one here for Caren Tiger is a real potential. You know, if this doesn't work out for Wargaming, at the end of this round, we're going to be saying that was a really dumb sort of a pick from Wargaming, picking all of these tanks. If it does work out, then obviously things maybe going to be on the other side of the coin. We'll be thinking Wargaming, they're geniuses once again. But it just doesn't scream a Prokhorovka lineup to me. But looks like we are finally getting into the game. We've talked it to death, and let's find out how it's actually going to work for Wargaming, and whether or not you and I were even close to on the money.
Well, let's find out. It is seeming like Caren Tiger definitely spreading out towards the eastern side of the map. Looks like Marrow might be heading up towards the hill, which I do like to see. Black in that mouse, going to be sitting all the way back there with Fox TS, the artillery piece. Holly getting a nice bit of early scouting out.
Well, Caren Tiger have gained control of the hill. They know that they were obviously the faster, more mobile lineup, so they've gotten in, gained control of that sort of area of the map in towards the 2 flag as well. They have sacrificed a little bit of HP on the side of Polly, but it's not too worrisome at this point. Nice, just bouncing up and down on the tracks there, trying to get some spots out. He does get spotted himself though, so he's going to play a little bit more safer now.
And
the
here we go.
artillery having a look.
So Opalisk there in that
shot
array.
fired.
No, I don't think we're going to be seeing that that bat chat spotted out again anytime soon. So a little bit unfortunate there for Opalisk. It's quiet there in that Kranwagen. See, he's pushed all the way out here towards this kind of E3 area.
Well, he does have hardliners spotting down the 1-2 line for him. He's got nice spotting out a little bit further on the other side of the map for him as well. So he knows that he's actually quite safe in this position. He can't get shot really from either of the sides without the opponent being spotted. So I don't mind that he's pushed this far forward. Just not sure what he's really going to be able to achieve here. I mean, the Kranwagen, it doesn't have the greatest of guns. I mean, it's a pretty okay gun, but it's not super accurate. It can sometimes, you know, the dispersion can sometimes just mess around with you a little bit. So firing from that kind of a distance isn't going to be the easiest of things for him.
No, you're right. But speaking of firing, we are going to be seeing, I'm not not too sure what that shot was directed at from Caren because it almost looked like it was towards Nice.
Yeah, you're right.
But anyways,
Trouble in paradise for EO Gaming.
yeah, trouble in paradise. But for now, we are going to be seeing Caren Tiger push here up a little bit. I think it would be a mistake if Caren Tiger tried to go for the slow 2 flag cap here because EO Gaming, they would feel very confident pushing over that rail track. And I like what Nadeko's doing here, trying to get some spots for the artillery piece.
He might, good teamwork.
Yeah, great teamwork. He might poke up there and,
There's one. Is the shot going to come out? Yes, it is.
Yep.
Let's have a look at C. The Kranwagen
oh,
evading that one.
Close.
Just, it was close.
Bit of RNG.
Yeah.
The mix there, unfortunately. And look at that. That's why you can't counter Artie because Opalisk, he's not bad and he moves after he fires.
Yeah. One ran in that Kranwagen. I think just taking another shot as well from someone else on the map there for Caren Tiger. I think maybe, who are we looking at from this
Fox
point
TS.
now? Must be Fox TS, yeah, because it's only 370 meters opposed to like 600 or so, which is what we saw coming out from Opalisk. And Fox TS might have got a call here from Granren that he was shot from somewhere up on that hill. Is Fox TS going to blind fire this bush? That'd be interesting to see. Whoa,
Oh,
he's having a good look.
He's having a really good look.
Trying to have a
looking for the snails on the grass there, seeing if they've been run over.
If he had taken a shot, he might have been pretty close, but I don't think the player is in that position anymore. We're going to see Caren Tiger just backing out a slight bit.
Yes, right now not a lot of damage done either side. Polly is still damaged a little bit here from Caren Tiger. Feel as though a push might be on the cards here potentially for Caren Tiger. They've got Yupa and Marrow set up, ready to go on that 1 and 2 line. Opalisk still sitting back at K6, K7 in that artillery piece. Nadeko doing a good job spotting for him. And right now Akiov might be moving himself on towards the cap.
It looks like he's gotten on there, so it might be not too bad of a time to head on in with EO Gaming and see what's going on their side of the camp.
刚起有压底的意思，
这是把我炸死的节奏吗？
对他就会把你炸死。
我们又装好弹了。
我来，对，看好了，现在查的人准备清这里，准备集结，这里加这里，准备同时秒人，不等的。
公路这台车常常放吧？
放，直接放了，不要了，看到没有？等两边到的时候，直接把这里秒了。
我还是不动了是吧？
都过来了。
建议
全部
刀刀直接瞄射山顶，山顶的人开炮亮了就把它秒掉。
我去你那里了，去中间。
瞄好这个区域最好，瞄好这个区域。前面你去前面，这边是2个4连发加个查迪轮，我们这边是3台，明白没有？
那你刚刚跟我说，
火力是吧？
对。
瞄准这个点，
我
瞄到山顶，对，瞄到了。
优先激活这个查迪轮，火力别急，别
亮。
我不出去，我不。
放过了。我过来的时候
要到好位置，江山也是一样。
到了，等你呢。
他知道我们要
江山直接，他现在不亮了，好了。看好，我等会怎么说？
他不震了。
等会儿江山直接。
这边跑了，这边有人。
Well, that's a bit of a crazy sort of comms session there from EO Gaming. I don't know how you understand what's going on with 3 or 4 people talking at once, but they
Chinese as well.
They do somehow manage to make it work. And for the moment, they do have a slight health advantage. Elkarai is having his destruction, or his defensive position destroyed at the moment, and will take a shot as well. But for the moment, EO Gaming, still holding on here, and Caren Tiger have only got 4 minutes to work with, and they've still got 7 EO Gaming tanks to deal with.
Oh, good Artie shot there. That's over 700 damage total by Mr. Opalisk in that Lorraine, landing on towards those 2 EO Gaming members. So that trade has not worked out too well for them, I don't believe.
Yeah, but my main concern here for Caren Tiger rather is that they're going to fall into the same trap that we saw EO Gaming in, where EO Gaming just timed themselves out of the battle. There's only 3.5 minutes left here. Yupa's probably going to get a free kill onto Fox TS when he eventually gets down to that A line. But really, I think Caren Tiger might have left things just a little bit too late here, although they are going to start to force the push a little bit earlier than what EO Gaming did. So we'll see what can happen here. Fox TS is surely not long for this world.
Yeah, this isn't looking good for EO Gaming. Fox TS is going to go down in 1 more shot, and in the meantime, EO, they're pushing over the rail tracks, but they've just taken so much damage, forcing the push over there. 3 minutes left as well. Don't really think they needed to do that, but they're taking down some of CT now.
Yeah, it's a 1-for-2 trade overall at the moment. EO Gaming slightly ahead on the HP still. But I guess when you have a mouse, that's not too surprising. To be honest, Caren Tiger have good control over to the western side of the map. They should probably get in on that one flag relatively quickly and try and force EL Gaming to come in towards them, I think.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea as well. 2 minutes and 30 seconds left for Caren Tiger to make this move, and we've almost had a swap around. Now EL Gaming are on the eastern side of the tracks, Caren Tiger on the west right there. AkiOV, he's in
Polly
a
at
good
the
spot.
moment. Have a look at Polly there over for Caren Tiger. He
Oh.
just got spotted out by
Oh.
Grandwagen of Guanren, and well, he's probably not going to survive too much longer, but if he had stayed in that position, it would have been so good for Caren Tiger. It looks like Caren Tiger are actually going to just decide to take the fight. Guanren does take down Polly, but now it is a 5 versus 5. Caren Tiger with the HP advantage this time. Yupa does take down Black in that mouse. Maro, a few shots still left in his clip, plenty of damage potential. Only 2 minutes left on the clock as we hear that siren going off here. Caren Tiger need to get a wriggle on, and EL Gaming quite content just to group up in towards the middle of the map and hightail it out of there. It looks like Guanren in his Kranwagen has been left to essentially try and hold down the fort for as long as possible, waste as much time of Caren Tiger as he can, but he's not going to be able to do too much in that position. And now the cap has been started here from Caren Tiger, but they're going to need to get at least one more tank on one of those flags, because either of them are going to cap just in time. Opalisk has gotten spotted out, but that's a little bit of information really. More importantly, over for Caren Tiger, I don't think they're going to be too worried about losing their artillery piece this late in the game.
Yeah.
The information that it gives over to them is more than worth it.
And not a big issue there for Caren Tiger, but right now EL Gaming, they've got a few big issues. Only 3 tanks left. They need to get the cap reset, but it shouldn't be too difficult.
This is not going to be such a bad situation for EL if they recognize that that IS-7 is not covered off by any of the teammates. It's an easy kill for this batch out of Hardliner. Kranwagen of Principal can just sort of look over the tracks and get a pretty easy reset here. So I'm not too worried for EL Gaming if they take down AkiOV here without too much trouble. Hardliner, what is he doing?
Oh, his turret's jammed! His turret's jammed!
He's going to try and spot out for those cappers, and I don't know. There was a reset coming out there from EL Gaming. Looks like Hardliner has managed to take down AkiOV in the IS-7. Good play from EL Gaming there, and the Kranwagen of Principal starting to come up in trumps here. I don't think Caren Tiger is going to be able to clutch this one out. Principal should be able to get another pretty easy reset before he goes down here. He's got a couple of shots left in the clip, and there it is.
There we
That's
go.
going to be the game really for EL Gaming. Caren Tiger getting close, but not close enough by the looks of things. EL Gaming just having enough to clutch things out. 3 seconds left on the clock.
Whoa.
No time at all for Caren Tiger. And once again, another timeout on Prokhorovka. What's going on tonight?
Crazy. You would never think that EL Gaming would time out 2 matches on Prokhorovka.
Yeah.
Never in a million years. And, well, there you go. Caren Tiger suddenly, just like that, facing the eyes of defeat.
Yep.
Here, 4-2. And, well, EL Gaming, they played that one very, very well, particularly at the end.
Yep, they did work that one out quite nicely. It was a bit of a scare with the turret being jammed there, but, you know, they kind of quickly changed their strategy up, got the spotting run across, and the Kranwagen went in towards in to get the reset regardless of whether or not that IS-7 was down. It worked out for them in the end. The IS-7 went down, the Kranwagen got the resets, and everything was peachy for EL Gaming in the end there. A little bit close for comfort, I suppose, for them, but they do pull it through to that 4th round, and now just 1 round away from picking up that win over Caren Tiger.
Just 1 round away, but Caren Tiger, look, they've got to pat themselves on the back. They've put up a pretty good show so far, and they're not out of it yet. Let's not forget, of course, that last one on Proc. I mean, they started off quite well, I feel. They got some EL Gaming tanks down, and that, you know, set them in good stead. But the issue was after that, after they got those initial EL tanks down, they kind of went a bit flip-floppy.
Yeah, again, it just felt like they fell into the same trap that EL Gaming did. They left things way too late there on Prokhorovka, and I don't really think that there's an excuse for that in the WGL. I mean, these guys need to be moving on a little bit quicker than they currently are, because we've seen quite a few timeouts throughout the first couple of weeks here in Season 2, and it's just essentially giving a free round over to your opponent. I mean, yeah, there's a very good chance maybe if you push in that you're going to lose, but at least you give it a crack.
Yeah, exactly. And, well, you're never going to win if you don't try in those sorts of scenarios. So in a timeout win like that, I mean, EL played that perfectly. Yes, it did come very close to a cap, but we've seen a lot closer, you know, almost caps than that when it goes down to like 0 seconds. Overall, Prokhorovka, yeah, I'm not really sold on EL Gaming's
No,
triple
that was a
Kranwagens.
really, really shoddy performance from EL Gaming on Prokhorovka. They've
Yeah.
looked much better on that on the past, and I've said I thought it was their best map, but that was definitely not their best performance on Prokhorovka at all. Let's look at the post-battle stats there, and well, see where things were going well for EL Gaming at least. The Kranwagens worked out okay, or at least a couple of them. There was 3 of them for EL, which was quite surprising. I'm not so sure about the mouse pick either. I don't think it really offered anything.
I wonder if EL's Artie did anything at all, because I've got a big suspicion that it didn't. Apart from that, I think the Lorraine got a few decent shots in. I can validate that as a pick. I don't mind that for Caren Tiger, particularly with the lineup that they rolled out with, and the fact that they knew they were facing those Kranwagens prior to it. But let's have a look at how much damage the Lorraine and the other Artie, the M40, M43, ended up doing. 867, nothing for Fox DS, and Opalisk 1400 into Lorraine. Can't really complain about that, but again, that mouse, like 1,000 damage, didn't really work out. 12 shots fired for Black, like.
Yeah, I'm really not so sure what it offered, to be honest.
Yeah.
If you want a tank that's going to soak up some damage, I think maybe get at least like an IS-7, where you can get him hulled down, get at least a bit more damage out of him. I think an IS-7 is a much more of a threat than a mouse on Prokhorovka, but it is what it is. EL Gaming were able to close out the win anyway, and now moving on to Himmelsdorf, we'll sort of put our thoughts in that direction. EL Gaming starting off on the attacking side. I would not be surprised to see them just come out of the gates here with a super aggressive strat. I think they've had enough sitting around there on Prokhorovka to last them almost the rest of the season. So I think we're probably seeing something pretty quick from EL here.
Yeah, I would agree with you, and I'm definitely hoping that EL show us one of their trademark aggressive strategies here on Himmelsdorf, and I'll have to wait and see what tanks they do end up locking in. They're probably going to be going with another Kranwagen here. You know, they have liked that in the past here on Himmelsdorf, and you know, if it's not broken, then don't fix it, I guess is the saying.
Well, I'd be looking for a few 50Bs, a bat chat or two. Maybe an IS-4, IS-7, something like that to give them a little bit of extra heaviness, but really I think it's just going to be some very, very high damage targets coming out here from EL Gaming. 50Bs off the top of my head would probably be my go-to pick really for EL Gaming.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised to see EL throw something like a FE4005, even a 183B in there, a 215B 183. It could be a good pick.
You're a shocker, Alex. You're an absolute shocker.
But look, the FE4005, it's had a very strong win rate so far this season. EL, they know how to play it. They play it really well. Fox DS, obviously, the tank destroyer player for EL Gaming. I think it could happen.
I think it could happen as well, Alex. I'm backing you in for this one, Alex. I'm pretty sure
Thanks,
you've got
Jordan.
the correct pick going on there. You know, it's got nothing to do with the fact that we can maybe have a sneaky look in at the tag picks already. I don't know.
I didn't know whether they were locked in or not. He just gave me the right idea.
That's fair enough. We don't know if they're locked in, but you know, taking a bit of the old maybe war pack under your belt there, Alex.
War pack. Oh,
Yeah.
I wish. And my win rate might be a little bit better, but no, don't cheat, kids.
Don't do that. No, definitely don't do that. But look, it's probably not going to be too bad of a pick here for EL Gaming. Caren Tiger, they do like those AMX 50Bs. So if indeed that 4005 does get locked in for EL Gaming, then I think it's probably a pretty reasonable pick.
Yeah, absolutely. And for the Caren Tiger side, I mean, I really think they will struggle to deal with that if they go all AMX 50Bs. Obviously, the FE4005 can go through those AMX 50Bs like butter. The Heschel has no trouble getting through that kind of flimsy Tier 10 French heavy tank. So, wouldn't be a bad pick. But, of course, Himmelsdorf, there's a lot more to it than just one tank. It is going to take a team of 7 from EL Gaming to come around the close little corners and narrow streets of Himmelsdorf. Potentially a few little hold down actions as well, which we could be seeing, particularly up the banana. Lots of options for both of these teams.
Definitely, and I'm looking forward to seeing what tanks are going to be locked in here from both of these teams. See if we're right, Alex, here. Oh, look at that. It's a 4005.
I was right.
Pretty heavy lineup, though, from Caren Tiger,
Oh, I
actually.
like that from Caren Tiger. They're going with the double American TD. They've got the T110E3 and the T95. very strong tank, the T95 for a tier 9, of course. You know, if you can get it into position, then it's pretty much good. We did see EL Gaming deal with it when they faced TCZ with the T95 on Himmelsdorf, but, you know, Caren Tiger, as long as they back it up, makes a line very, very hard to break. The T57 Heavy as well, American tier 10 auto loader heavy, of course, can put out an immense amount of damage per minute if you let it fire. Here we are, Zenlon in the road train.
Yeah, and not really any great targets for that 4005, to be honest here for EL Gaming. So, I mean, short of getting a shot into the single AMX 50B or maybe the sides of the Kranwagen or the T57 Heavy, it's pretty slim pickings really. Oh, sorry, the Emil or the T57 Heavy. It's pretty slim pickings really for Guanren.
Yeah. It's not going to be easy for Guanren to make his mark on the Caren Tiger lineup. So, going to be firing into the E100 too much. Do see Black in that AMX 1390 getting a bit of an early scout down the hill there. Looks like EL Gaming might be looking for a early banana push in their setup.
Yeah. Where's the banana, Alex?
Where's the banana?
Where's the banana?
Well,
I want to see your fantastic banana drawings.
well, yeah, as we can see here, the banana is what these teams are pushing down, what EL Gaming is pushing down right here, named as such because the street is sort of shaped like a banana there. And you know what? Let's cut back to the action as we see these guys pushing down it. Caren Tiger ready for a very, very, very passive defense.
Oh, they've just spotted out Black in the 1390. It's 442 damage going in his direction. So Caren Tiger does draw first blood here on Himmelsdorf, but EL Gaming have crossed the banana safely. They've managed to get their way in towards that 2 flag, and Guanren is pushed very far forward with his team here in that 4005. Needs to be careful. If he gets spotted out, he's going to be focused down pretty quickly by Caren Tiger, one should think. But EL Gaming, they do have a pretty tough nut to crack here for Caren Tiger. A lot of heavy tanks on the field, and EL Gaming really just walking into the setup that Caren Tiger has got, and I think Caren Tiger would be quite content with that. It's just going to come down to whether or not the AMX 50Bs are going to be able to primary down their targets well enough for EL Gaming.
Yeah, well, this is actually a bit of an issue for EL because they don't have their AMX 1390 down with the rest of their team, so they can't just slot it into the side of that 2 flag. There's no way that it's going to be able to come down from that hill unscathed. So a good little bit of play covering off that hill there for Caren Tiger allows them to deny that pressure that EL could get down there. As we do see the AMX 1390. Not sure how, but he has made it across one of those roads there, and we are going to be seeing him, I guess, poking out a little bit more. I love Akyov's positioning here as well. Going to be sitting in that ML2. Great little hold down position.
He's going to be pretty difficult to remove from there. EL Gaming, I think, are still just deliberating as to how they're going to get rid of Caren Tiger from this position, because with all those heavy tanks, Caren Tiger are going to be really difficult to remove from this entrenched position.
I actually think the AMX 1390 has to go back, and he has to go all the way back around the banana, honestly, because like they need him on this flag to start getting the cap pressure. They've got enough time to rotate it, and seeming like that's what they maybe might be doing.
Yeah, I think that's probably the correct decision for EL Gaming. It's going to take a little while for Black to get over there. He's still slowly but surely making his way around. I mean, the 1390 is not the fastest of light tanks. It's got something like 65 kilometers an hour top speed, so nowhere near up towards the 80 mark, which is what the IE-251 can hit. But you know what? He'll get there. He'll get there. One day.
One day. Exactly. But right now, Black in that AMX 1390 is going to be heading right across towards that 2 flag, gunning it. Of course, Hardliner knows that there's no one to disturb him, and he should be able to get himself onto the cap when he doesn't run into
What's Black done there?
building.
Flagged out or something?
Ah, he's good. He's just testing the building strength. Structural integrity check.
I don't know. I think he's having some troubles, to be honest, Alex. That didn't look all that great. I think that's a 400, 500 ping job, to be honest.
Well, lucky he's made it into the cap now. So yeah, he doesn't have to worry about ping anymore.
What does that say?
I'm not sure what we're looking at.
Before shooting.
Oh,
Something.
letter basket.
I can't read it. I can't read it.
I give up. But you can see
What was that? The back of the AMX 50? I mean, back of the
4005 maybe, yeah, I'm not too sure.
I don't know. I don't know what it said. But anyway, maybe someone else will figure it out for us.
In the meantime, though, we do see Caren Tiger there trying to figure out how to stop this EL Gaming cap. Of course, that IS4 Marrow could try and fire some HE
Well,
or
that's how
just
you do
some AP next to the AMX 1390.
Yeah, this is not looking so great for EL Gaming.
Yeah, I don't really like this from EL because they have to push in, have fun pushing in against a T95, a T110E3, a hold down E-mill, an E100, an IS4. Like, I literally just listed out the entirety of Caren Tiger's roster because.
Oh, they're trying to flip black up and, you know,
Oh,
get him
that's
into...
dirty.
No, that's a good strat. I like it, but
It's
now
good.
now they have to get him onto the cap without knocking him over. That's going to be the trouble here, I
He
think.
must feel so used. Getting flipped every which way and pushed
Oh,
wherever
this is
EL
risky.
wants him.
Because the 1390 is so light that a little bit of a love tap from Quiet, and there's that little bit of a ledge that's poking out between those two buildings. That could be the undoing.
Oh no!
here.
Oh,
That's,
no.
oh, what a play!
Oh!
Oh, he's on the cap. He's on. That's not on the cap. How is that on the cap?
Wargaming, please.
Good job, Black MVP.
Can I play in the Wargaming.net League APAC Season 2, 2016 to 2017?
Reckon you could do that?
I could do that. I could get knocked up on my side and pushed onto the cap.
Well, now what are Caren Tiger going to do about this? That's not an easy target to hit. They're going to have to really commit around the corner and walk into, well, the 4005, a few AMX 50Bs.
Can't even see it because of the EL Gaming camo as well. It's like, you know, camoed up against the wall.
What camo is for.
Yep.
And I don't think that Caren Tiger actually know that he's sort of pushed up against the wall like that. That was a good shot, though, coming out from, I guess, maybe the 4005. Who else would do 710 damage?
Yeah, it probably would have been, probably could have been the 4005. 710's about as much as a Hesh shell will kind of knock on when it doesn't go through an IS4. It gets a decent roll.
Burrow's trying to fire some HE in the direction of the 1390, but he's not having too much luck.
He's not actually going to get it. I wonder if he's like telling his team right now, oh yeah guys, that's right, I'll just do the same thing, I'll just get the HE out. But he's not going to get it. I don't think. I mean, I haven't personally tested out this exact scenario, but look at this.
It'd be hard for us to find a random battle where this is going to come up.
Yeah, very hard pressed. Oh, he's been spotted out. Oh, the jig's up.
Oh, the jig is up indeed. Deco's going to come around here. It should be a pretty easy reset in the end for Caren Tiger, but the question is how much they are going to trade for it. 1,000 damage in tomorrow. That's a big chunk of damage. 2 minutes on the clock left here for EL Gaming to close this one out. Morrow almost down to Deco, not taking actually too much damage, but Morrow in the end does go down. The 1390 traded out for EL Gaming, but Caren Tiger, I feel like they've managed to stall this one out long enough.
Yeah, it's only a minute and 42 seconds left for this game. So, you know, EL, yes, they got that cap so far along, but they also wasted so much time in doing so. Now they have to take out the remaining 6 members of Caren Tiger. They have a lot of HP, a lot of armor left on the board in less than 2 minutes.
Yeah, they really have to chunk through almost 9,000 HP in a minute and 20 seconds here. EL Gaming have really left this one to the last minute. Once again, Nice at least able to take down a Deco who's going to get a good shot into the email, but I think he's on the reload now. And it's going to be down to the rest of the players on the EL Gaming lineup. Principal does lose his ammo rack, but repairs it very quickly. And, well, you don't want to be reloading too long in a situation like this. Hardliner blocking the shot, actually, for Principal, but he does back out. Fox TS, in the meanwhile, being able to pick up a kill. And, well, EL Gaming might just have done this. They've got 1 minute left and 3 tanks to get rid of. They've got the cap timer working in their favor as well. Guanren with only a 99 damage shot onto Zenlon in the T95. That's less than ideal. But EL Gaming now on the reloads with those AMX 50Bs. Should expect to see a bit of an explosion coming out in, I don't know, 10 or 15 seconds. Hopefully going to be enough here for EL Gaming, but things are getting very, very close. Helkarai trades out 1, but does get taken down by Quiet. Fox TS getting extremely low as well. 2 tanks left on the clock, on the board here for Caren Tiger. Only 24 seconds left. EL Gaming, are they going to be able to do this?
They need to. They really need to. 20 seconds left. They've got only 608 health to take out with those 2 tanks that are left on the field. Zenlon, he's on 114 HP. An HE shell from Guan Ren should do it, but I'm
7
not sure.
seconds.
Quiet must be on the reload.
Yeah, he must be.
Oh no, he's not.
He's going to get the
just
shot
reloaded.
across.
2 seconds.
It's up to Guan Ren. He needs to get the shot, but he's not going to be
can't,
able to
he
do
can't.
it. Oh, neither of them got the shot across. And EO Gaming have once again timed out. Can you believe that, Alex? 3 rounds in a row from an EO Gaming match have timed out.
Timeouts.
I really, really feel like EO Gaming, I don't know, there must be some sort of ping issue. It feels to me like there's some sort of lag going on there because Black driving into the wall like that early on, and this is just very, very uncharacteristic for EO.
Very, very, very uncharacteristic, absolutely. But at the end of the day, it's not ping that makes you wait until like 1 minute and 30 seconds to go back into the fray and try and take them out. So there's some, you know, some accountability's got to fall on the EL shot callers for that, whether it's Fox TS or whether it's the whole team. We did hear lots of them.
I think it would be Black on the city maps. I forget who it is. Black and Nice share the roles. One on the city maps, one on the open maps. I think it's Black on city maps.
Yeah. Yeah,
Black was in the 1390, wasn't he? So
exactly,
yeah, it was Black. It was Black.
Yeah. And actually, we did our player profile this week on Black with that very fact that he likes to command EL on city maps. So a bit of a fun fact for everyone.
That's very fun.
A go-go gadget factoid, if you will.
If you will. All right. Well, questions now for EO Gaming. Lots of questions. Let's have a look at the replays here while we mull that one over, because that was, again, just really uncharacteristic for EL. I don't see why they didn't do this a little bit earlier on in the piece, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm not too sure why they wouldn't just start off with that. If they know how to do it, then why do it, you know, 3 minutes with 3 minutes left? Why not just do it immediately, I guess? So, yeah.
Post-battle stats, having a look at those. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter in the end because the match timed out anyway, so the damage that was done was not
pointless.
Enough, clearly, there for EO Gaming.
And like, it almost would have been enough if that FV4005, when it hit the T95 that earlier time, I'm not even sure if it hit it because it only dealt 95 damage.
99, but yeah.
99 damage, rather. Like, I'm pretty sure I've driven my 183 and I can't remember the last time I dealt 99 damage, even firing at a T110E3. Might have been a bit of a mistake there, a bit of a muck-up from Guan Ren, but he did end up doing 2.4k damage at the end of it. Yeah, I wonder how much of an impact the T95 had in that one. Oh, sorry, we didn't see the T90. Oh, yes, we did. Yeah, 1530. So,
I mean, he's really, I suppose, not there to do a huge amount of damage. He was soaking up a lot of damage, really. Across the board, I mean, it worked out for Caren Tiger. They did what they had to do. They waited it out. And EL Gaming just weren't able to get the job done in the end. Weren't able to cut through that massive HP pool that Caren Tiger had on the field.
Yeah, simple as that. And massive HP and armor pool that Caren Tiger had on the field. And honestly, if you're EL Gaming, this is getting a little bit too close for comfort now, having Caren Tiger come 3-4 with you and really just struggling on every single map to actually pull it through. EL haven't looked dominant on much today, apart from Mines.
Yeah, Mines, they looked quite good. Even Ruhenberg, they were looking okay. But here in Prokhorovka and Himmelsdorf so far, it just really hasn't looked very good at all from EL Gaming. So whatever the case is, they're just not playing well tonight on these maps in particular. Second half of Himmelsdorf will be coming up shortly. EL Gaming moving over to the defensive side. So it'll be up to Caren Tiger again to start calling the shots and taking the play or making the plays, I suppose. Really, I'm a bit worried here for EL Gaming. I want to just see something, you know, a bit more decisive from them. Figure out what's going wrong and make it happen.
Yeah,
the way that we like to see from EL Gaming.
Exactly. I think it's time for an EL Gaming push. You know, a good old-fashioned EL Gaming defensive Himmelsdorf push, whether they all push down the rail line like they have done in the past, or I don't know, even like we've seen them go really aggro on the banana on Himmelsdorf previously as well. So I think they've just got to go back to defaults, go back to what works, and you know, be aggressive, take the fight to Caren Tiger early on, and not do, like, it's all well and good that they've practiced those kind of, you know, funky flip the AMX 1390 degrees up and you know, push it into the cap. It's all very well and good that they know how to do that. You know, well done, but it didn't win them the game at the end of the day. So
no, it certainly didn't. I mean, they could have done that earlier on in the piece as well, and they would have had a bit of a better chance there. But look, I guess that's enough about the first half of Himmelsdorf there. Let's look at, or look forward, I suppose, to the second half here. EL Gaming, what are they picking up here?
Okay, this is quite a bit more standard from EL Gaming. They're going to be going with the AMX 50Bs, 2 of those. They do pick the grill, which still, in my opinion, on Himmelsdorf, not the best tank, but can put it up the hill, and it can still do work. Apart from that, the 113, the IS-7 for a little bit of bulk IS-7, and the 113 both could go down the banana line, hold that fairly well. They've got the AE251, bit of a scout. And Caren Tiger, to me, that is a banana lineup if I've ever seen one, I think, or even a hill push lineup.
T10's pretty quick across the map, but yep, looks like it is going to be a hill push here from Caren Tiger. The Congo line, I suppose, of the 50Bs, the T10s. Polly all on his lonesome in the bat chat, the only medium tank in this game for Caren Tiger, making his way over towards the railway line. Just have a look over there and see what's going on for EL Gaming. But at the moment, EL really not too interested, with the exception maybe of Guan Ren.
And look, EL set up perfectly for a banana line, a kind of punish, I guess you could call it. Down there with Fox TS looking towards the F8 little square. But they're not going to get that, and instead Caren Tiger, I'm actually really liking this from them. EL Gaming doesn't look like they're ready for a hill push just yet. They were really getting set up for that banana push, and because they didn't have Black, I don't know why Black didn't decide to go for a proxy spot there.
In towards the banana, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I guess that would have given information to EL because of the lack of information, but really, Caren Tiger have pretty much gotten all the way in towards this 2 flag without being spotted. Now maybe getting spotted by Principal there as they cross. It does look like that is the case, and well, EL Gaming now going to be aware, but Caren Tiger, this big wolf pack of Tigers, is making its way into the city, ready to take a brawl against EL Gaming.
Yep, there we go. So Caren Tiger have come all the way in there, and they've effectively got to where they would have got if they'd just done a banana push, but they've got there safely, which is very, very important. They've started the cap up as well, and I think honestly EL maybe could have been caught off a little off guard here. They didn't have anyone watching the hill. You know, they could have punished Caren Tiger if they'd known they were coming from there, you know, by putting someone in that B line. So I think that's a bit of a failure on Black there, not spotting the hill or not recognizing that the banana was not going to be getting pushed there either.
Well, 2 tanks on the cap here for Caren Tiger. EL need to respond pretty quickly, and they're just not doing a whole lot at the moment. Looks like they're waiting for that player on the hill starting to rotate across. I think it's Guan Ren maybe in his bat chat to get into
they
a
can't
position,
wait for that much longer.
Exactly.
We've got 20 seconds left.
Yep, 20 seconds left on the clock, so Guan Ren is going to have to get a bit of a wriggle on, or at least someone else from EL Gaming is going to have to do something here.
Who's going to reset it?
That is my question.
Who's going to reset it? They've got 10 seconds left. They need the reset,
Yeah,
EL.
these 50Bs are going to push forward, but I just don't know if they're going to...
Oh.
Okay, someone just got off the cap. Fair enough. Fair enough. Let's hold that thought. Let's hold the
Okay,
press.
hold that thought. Anyways, let's keep on going. Not too sure what happened there, but right now we are going to be getting into a bit of a brawl with EL and Caren Tiger here. Shots fired on both sides, but EL seem to be losing it a little bit.
I'm a little surprised that Caren Tiger gets off the flag there, but let's see if they can punish the AMX 50Bs here of EL for taking some probably poor shots. You've got to be questioning what Kayat was doing in that AMX 50B. He just gets absolutely railed there by Caren Tiger, and well, on the reload, not able to really do much about it. Principal does trade back an AMX 50B there for EL Gaming, so that's not too bad, but really, it just seems like EL Gaming have not been on the same level, or they're just not seeming like the same team that we're used to seeing play here.
No.
They're all over the place.
No. This is crazy. EL Gaming, I mean, Hardline just going down as capitulation, just like that. And, I mean, I'm not too sure what they were doing here. Zenlon might be able to go down, but this is looking really pretty decent for Caren Tiger. EL Gaming, they're finally looking to put some kills back on the board with Zenlon going down. It is now a 5-on-4. The tank's in favour of Caren Tiger, but only slightly. HP very much in favour of EL Gaming right now.
Yeah, we must have missed something going on the other side of the map there, because a lot of damage has gone the way of Caren Tiger, and this might just be enough here for EL Gaming if they can clutch this one out. Principal's in a pretty difficult position here, but Black is going to be so important for EL Gaming in that RU251. He is going to be able to do so much work with so few tanks left on the field and such low HP for Caren Tiger. I think EL Gaming might have finally just pulled through in this one. Just a couple of tanks left to deal with, and, well, it's looking like it's going to be headed in that direction. Hellcry, miles away from being reloaded, will go down to Fox TS in the Grill 15. Yupa, final tank alive here for Caren Tiger, and, well, he's going to get a consolation prize onto Principal there. Gets a shot into Black as well, but he's not going to be able to one-shot Fox TS, who I thought was going to get the kill, and does.
Yep, there we go. So finally, EL Gaming, they pulled through a little bit from the skin of their teeth there. That was a lot closer than I think EL would have wanted it.
Definitely, definitely. It was quite uncharacteristic from EL. Even in that win there on Himmelsdorf, it just didn't look like the EL Gaming that we're used to. So many missed shots from the AMX 50Bs. They got punished for it as well. Caren Tiger just weren't able to get it done in the end there. But look, EL Gaming, they still get maximum points out of that series, so I guess it's not so bad for them, even though they go to the 8th round, sorry. They allow 3 to go through to Caren Tiger. They still don't manage to, or still don't allow Caren Tiger to get it through to the tiebreaker. There we go.
So that was, in the end, a net positive for EL Gaming. They did end up getting those 3 points, not allowing CT to get to the tiebreaker, and CT end up with 0. So the end result is, yes, EL win, Caren Tiger lose. But
yeah, let's have a look at the replays there for Himmelsdorf. It's going to be a bit of a dodgy side, I think, for both these teams here. I want to see what... Maybe we missed something, I feel like, when we were just watching that bit of a duel here from Principal. What was going on the other side of the map? I think Black was just peppering everyone with shots from the back as well. Yeah. Fox TS was down in that 5 line
just
as
came
well.
in from the hill as well.
Right.
I think, and Guanren hadn't been in the fight. Guanren had a full clip, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he would have, for sure.
Yeah, and just unloaded, so there we go. But look, overall, EL Gaming looking...
Yeah, Black did 2.1k, so that's a lot of damage.
Yep. Yeah, big plays there by Mr. Black in the RU251. And apart from that, AQOV in that T10, he managed to deal 2.9 thousand. At the end of the day, though, Caren Tiger, I gave it a really fair crack, but the thing that's still niggling me is, why did Caren Tiger move off the cap?
Yeah.
Why?
I'm not sure.
Like when you're that close to the cap, surely you just stay on it.
Yeah, I think EL Gaming, like, they would have probably got the reset with the AMX 50Bs, but the 50Bs would have been so far out of position that I think Caren Tiger would have been able to punish them for it. So it is a bit nonsensical for me as to why Caren Tiger dropped off the cap there. It could have probably lost them the game.
Yeah, that was tough to watch for a number of reasons. But, I mean, look, it's shown that EL, if they do this again...
0 damage from Quiet in the 50B.
Oh.
Very rare that you see a player from EL Gaming get 0
damage. Very, 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 very rare. So
at least someone in a 50B, like RU251, yeah, maybe every now and then. But a 50B, that's almost unheard of.
Yep, 100%. Very strange, strange times here for EL Gaming in the battle against Caren Tiger, and 5-3. It's definitely the most sort of competition that EL have faced so far this season. Every single one of us called it as a 5-2, and I didn't expect it to go any more than that.
No,
but
definitely
there
not.
You go.
Yeah, look, all in all, it's been a pretty good week for EL Gaming. They had two pretty easy matches, let's be honest, against Dark Wolves and Coalition Zoo. A bit tougher one there against Caren Tiger, but they still finish it off with 3 clean wins, and they'll be again putting themselves up towards the scoreboard. The other winners for this week, Team Efficiency, 3 wins for them as well. Pretty good stuff. Can't really complain about it for them. Horsemen was a bit shakier this week for them, but still they managed to get the points on the board that they needed. So I think
one tiebreaker
overall,
as well.
Yeah, exactly. I think overall things are still looking pretty much similar to what we saw in week 1.
Yeah, absolutely similar. And I suppose with EL up the top, I mean, everyone probably would have guessed that at the end of it, but I think the team should be pretty happy watching EL in that game against Caren Tiger, because they've definitely showed a few weak sides that even they can have bad days.
Yeah, well, let's have a look at the post-match stats there between EL Gaming and Caren Tiger. And average of 2.2k for Quiet is not too bad. 2.2k for Yupa as well. Some pretty reasonable performances as well from Guanren, Hardliner, and Fox TS. And then things start to drop off a little bit down towards the 1600 mark.
Yeah, so Quiet going to be pretty happy with that. Hardliner staying up right near the top to continue on with his very high average damage rate in the Season 2 of WGL APAC. Yupa Yupa's been doing really well.
Yeah.
He's a very consistent player, is Mr. Yupa. It's one of the great things about him. And down on the second half of the damage stats, I'm sure we're going to be seeing Principal. Yep, Black in that RU251. Generally speaking, only 939 average damage, which isn't too surprising.
Yep. Well, I mean, nothing too crazy on that score sheet there. Would have maybe liked to have seen Akio V a little bit higher. He tends to be doing a pretty decent amount of damage generally for Caren Tiger, but look, it is what it is. EL Gaming at least able to pick up the clean win there, and they'll be okay. They'll be happy with how the week's gone. I think there's going to be some serious discussions though in the Elon Gaming house at the moment, or even later on tomorrow, something like that, throughout this week, because they really need to shore things up there if they want to, you know, continue their dominance over the APAC region.
Yeah, 100%, I think. So, well, EL Gaming, after that one, look, they definitely are still the most dominant force in the APAC region, but Caren Tiger, I mean, they are looking really good this season, and you know, there are a few little bits of sloppy play mixed in with the good stuff in there, but they definitely showed some really good play. I think if they can shape up their minds game a little bit more, then they'll be looking really like a force to compete with.
Yeah, definitely. I think they still are a force to compete with here.
Oh, for sure.
They've got EL out of the way now for a bit, so they're going to have maybe some easier matches next week. I guess we'll have to see what's going on when we do get to next week. But Caren Tiger, yeah, I still think they're going to be up towards the top 2, 3, 4 sort of positions there. Team Efficiency will be challenging for that. Horseman will be challenging for that. And it does seem like, at least in my opinion, Meltdown maybe going to be a little bit shakier now. I think they might drop below those 3. So for me, in my mind, at the moment, it's sitting at like EL Gaming #1, and then maybe Horseman, Team Efficiency, kind of 2, 3, Caren Tiger, and then Meltdown, at least in my sort of own mind in terms of like the power rankings, I suppose.
Yeah, that's right, I guess. It's pretty valid rankings there, I think, and well, we've seen a lot of matches this week, and it's been great to cast all of them. We're off to a good start this season, I feel, Jordan. Lots of kind of new changes in some of these teams that we're now seeing really start to develop, start to fester and grow, and kind of take their own shape. We're seeing some of the teams with last season really change it up as well with their typical play styles.
Yeah, I think the one thing I'm looking for this season is for B Gaming to come back in and have a strong run towards the end. But I guess that's something for the next few weeks to have a look at. Let's have a look back at today's results. Coalition Zoo starting us off with a pretty long game up against Dark Wolves, but they were able to just pull it off in the end. I think on Muravanka in the tiebreaker, and then Meltdown Team Efficiency was pretty one-sided for Team Efficiency in the end. But after that, another close match, Horseman and B Gaming going to 5-4. And then we just saw, of course, EL Gaming struggling to close it out over Caren Tiger, but they got the job done in the end.
Yes, they did in the end. So that's all that counts. They do get the 3 puntos after that one. Caren Tiger get 0. So Caren Tiger going to be a little bit disappointed to not walk away from that with at least 1 tiebreaker point. But I'm sure they've served their fans well.
Yeah, look, I think overall for today, reasonably expected results coming out there. I mean, Horseman I thought was going to be a little bit more one-sided to them. EL Gaming I thought was going to be a little bit more one-sided there. But overall, I mean, the winners were the ones that I thought were going to win. The losers were the ones that I thought were going to lose. And the scores maybe just a little bit off. But really, it was a pretty expected day. And overall, I think this week things have gone reasonably as expected, to be honest.
Yeah, I think as expected, some of the scores have been the ones to fluctuate quite a bit from what we predicted, but winners and losers, absolutely. As we're just getting settled into the APAC season, we're starting to see these teams with their new rosters adapt to them, you know, flex with them, grow a little bit, and you know, implement some new strategies, new tanks here and there, which is always exciting to see. And hopefully next week we see a little bit more of that, Jordan.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's some really good storylines starting to build here in Season 2. Really excited to see how things start to shape up in week #3. Once we start to get a better grasp on how these teams are starting to compete and match up against one another, and how when the teams start to get a bit of a better indication as to how they're matching up against one another, I think we'll start to see some really good games, like we did towards the end of Season 1 as well.
Yep, absolutely. So, well, there's one thing to look forward to. That is next week's kind of games as well. I do believe we have, of course, soon a little bit of a break coming up for the Lunar New Year.
Actually, it is next week.
Which is next week.
Yeah, so we'll be back in 2 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah, so taking a break week here in APAC. Always nice to have a bit of a holiday, I suppose.
Absolutely.
Maybe not so early in the season. Would have liked to have had a couple more matches or a couple more weeks in a row. But let's have a look at the standings here at the end of week number 2. And no surprises, we will see Wargaming up the top there. Horseman as well, sitting in second. Team efficiency, I do believe, should be a little bit higher up there with 3 wins on the board. And Caren Tiger also losing a couple of rounds there. I mean, losing a couple of games there. But look, overall, things are looking pretty much how we probably would have expected things. Meltdown maybe a little bit disappointed with how things have gone this week. But surely we'll see them bounce back next week.
Yeah. Absolutely, surely we will. So there we go. That's the general lay of the land for the standings here, Jordan. And it's been great, of course, to get into the action today with a few of our quests for those watching on live.wgleague.net as well. Remember, your prizes will be sent to you, of course. So thanks for everyone that participated in those ones. Any lucky winners? But yeah, I think that just about wraps it up for us.
That does wrap it up us up here in the APAC region for this week. Of course, we said we're going to be back in a couple of weeks. Next week we are on a break, but until the next couple of weeks have gone by, I wish you guys a